North Carolina. North Carolina State University. Two schools separated by 40 miles of Tobacco Road and a century of hard feelings. Two men who coach where they once played, who, like everyone else involved, understand the depth of the passion that fuels the most heated rivalry in the ACC.
You know, it's a big rival. I had some in high school that you thought, you couldn't stand those guys, and it's even worse now that you're in college. You have a big rivalry.
People make NC State a big rivalry. Yeah, it's a heated game, but they've only beat us once in the past 10 years.
We don't like to look ahead on the schedule. We take every game at a time, but we definitely look at that North Carolina game as a game we need to get.
Today, Heisman Trophy candidate Phillip Rivers leads the undefeated Wolfpack into Chapel Hill to face Darion Durant and the high-flying Heels. It's a backyard brawl like no other. Sit down and strap in as the Wolfpack and the Tar Heels square off next.
Touchdown, Florida State. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Hook ladder. And the Pack takes the lead. Touchdown, Wake Forest.
Two schools in close proximity to each other. You live among the enemy for 364 days. Today, you get a chance to do something about it. John Bunting and Chuck Amato know that very well. These will be the last two civil words they'll say to each other this afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome as Citgo presents Jefferson Pilot Sports production of ACC football. The NC State Wolfpack, undefeated and 14th ranked in the country, take on the Tar Heels of North Carolina and the 92nd renewal between these two schools. Good afternoon, Steve Martin here along with Doc Walker. Doc, go figure. Let's hit.
We're bumping up, man. Let's get this thing on.
Rivalry. But go figure, these two guys are defensive players in college, but they oversee probably two of the more prolific offensive quarterbacks in the league.
And everybody says you play defense, you're not thinkers. Well, these guys, not only are they smart, they're tough, and more importantly, they bring passion to the game.
And, of course, they bring quarterbacks who are among the most efficient in the country for the second straight week. North Carolina will face the most efficient quarterback.
How can you not love this kid? #1 in efficiency, 21-9 as a starter. More importantly, 13 touchdowns and just 5 interceptions. And you put T.A. McClendon with this guy, and they are unstoppable.
It's not lost on Coach John Bunting. He knows he's got a problem today because his team gave up 1.5 miles to Arizona State a week ago.
Well, they're young. 73% of this roster are freshmen and sophomores. But you know what? Today, it doesn't matter because this is about a turf battle, bragging rights, and you better bring it.
And the shelf is not empty at North Carolina quarterback either. Darion Durant had a superlative performance against the Sun Devils in a winning call.
Steve, what I like about this kid, he set up records against Arizona State, but he is a competitor. The brighter the lights, the better his game, and he can beat you both ways. He can take off and hurt you and set up and make the big throw.
Tar Heels made the plays last week. Durant with 5 touchdown passes, 4 to that man, Chesley Borders, doubling his career output. He'll be in the spotlight for the Tar Heels today, but Chuck Amato has got a weapon on defense that can control it.
Well, the Chuckster, he's going to bring passion. Also, he's going to bring pressure. They have fresh legs. Coming off a bye week, look out Carolina because they're going to bring the dogs.
23 sacks on the season as the Tar Heels get ready to step onto the field in front of 60,000 fans, not all of them clad in Tar Heel blue. There's a good sprinkling of Wolfpack red and white here in Chapel Hill today. Well, that's the pageantry of this rivalry. Back with more from Chapel Hill right after this.
The Citgo ACC Game of the Week is being brought to you by your neighborhood Citgo. Proud to support today's athletes. Citgo, we know you. By BB&T, Branch Banking and Trust Company. By Alltel, are you connected? By Geico Direct, the sensible alternative. And by Ice House. At Plank Road Brewery, we'll make the Ice House, you make the ads. For details, go to icehouse.com.
Beautiful day in Chapel Hill. Keenan Stadium filled to the max after 6 inches of rain yesterday. We are getting ready for the kickoff. The coin toss is underway. It's the Tar Heels and the Wolfpack coming your way next. loss, but they have decided to defer their option to the second half. A beautiful day here in Chapel Hill. That's Topher Roberts. He'll kick off, and awaiting his kick, two of the more dangerous kick returners in the conference. That's Greg Golden, and next to him, Lamont Reed, who's already scored 2 touchdowns off kickoff returns thus far this season.
And Golden's taken 141 yards. He's averaging 21.9 yards a kick. Action-packed.
Here we go. Golden, 8 yards deep. He won't come out. And the Tar Heels come out on defense at their own 20, at the Wolfpack 20-yard line. And let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast crew. And one of the reasons why Phillip Rivers has been efficient this year, he's got some help in the backfield. Here's Mike Hogewood.
Thanks, Steve. That's T.A. McClendon, who's a true freshman. A year ago, recruited by both of these schools, like so many of these players. He was here at Carolina the last time. He scored 7 touchdowns in the state championship game for Albemarle High School. And T.A. McClendon looks like he's not in the backfield to start the game, Steve.
Not unusual for him not to start. That's Peterson in the backfield, moves out in motion. NC State said they'd show a lot of formations to Carolina defensively today. Here comes Rivers. The throw to the flats is complete. That's Jericho Cotchery, and he fumbles the ball out of bounds, but it'll stay in possession of the Wolfpack out to the 36-yard line, and that just gives you an idea of what Phillip Rivers and company have up their sleeves this afternoon. Rivers, 65% of his passes are caught by his own teammates. He's only threw 5 up for grabs. He's had 13 touchdowns. He's on a mark right now, second in NC State in yardage.
What Carolina showed with the hit is the key to Carolina's success. They got to make them pay for it.
Look at this formation. Split out to Devontae Edwards. Edwards, a native of Chapel Hill, driven out of bounds at the 46-yard line. NC State has been anything but conventional in these first 2 series. Here's a look at our Chevy starting lineup for the Wolfpack. Looking at T.A. McClendon, as Mike said, 7 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Moyer, Cotchery, Peterson, and Sean Burton is a probable at tight end today. Chris Palmer leads the offensive line with Riggs, Paulson, Locklear, and Kustra. And we're ready to go here on 1st and 10. Wolfpack on 2 plays, 2 trick formations. They've got trips to both sides. Here's a screen. It goes off out there to the flats to Sterling Hicks. And Hicks gets up to the 48-yard line. Let's take a look at North Carolina's defense. The only returning defensive lineman, Will Chapman, and he missed half the season with an injury last year. The linebackers, Malcolm Stewart having a great year moving from defensive end to that position. And Dexter Reed, the leading tackler on the squad, and he leads the ACC with Waddell, DeFonte Coleman, and Kevin Knight in the backfield. 2nd down now and 5 for the Wolfpack. And look at these formations. 6 wide receivers out. Rivers. Over to the corner, it goes to Peterson, where he's close to another 1st down. A gain of 4 on the play.
And what Kevin Knight has shown there, you have to be sure in your tackling. What they're doing is spreading things out, trying to put their great athletes on an island. They've got guys, great skill guys. Carolina's got to equal the task, and they've got to get pressure within the box, even with short numbers.
And North Carolina has to play assignment football, but they have to account for everybody outside of those tackles. Yeah. First play with a conventional lineup. And McClendon is back there at tailback. He gets the call. He gets the 1st down as he moves the Tar Heel pile toward the 40-yard line. T.A. McClendon, as Mike told you, he's a true freshman out of Albemarle High School, 170 rushing touchdowns in his high school career. He has 10 already this season, and it's not even half done.
That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, you got the emotions, okay? Everybody's into this. This is all about the grudge game. Now it starts to settle down. You start to get the butterflies, you know, working in concert. For Carolina, it's imperative that at the very least they hold them to 3. This is a statement. They gave up the football.
Peterson comes to the wide side. Cotchery is in the slot. That's Sean Burton dropping back off the line of scrimmage. On 1st and 10, McClendon gets the call behind Burton's block. Breaks a tackle and is driven out of bounds. Touched there by Chris Curry, who is working with DeFonte Coleman at that strong safety position.
You mentioned Sean Burton, the tight end, 260-pounder, stayed within his realm. Good blocking. And watching the end of this play, you talk about grudge match. You think there's not a little something to this one? You better believe it is.
McClendon's got a little something there to say.
Trash talking going on.
But he's doing it on his own sideline.
Yeah, well, he's smart. NC State now, they've got to be smart in all their formations and alignments that they don't hurt themselves.
5 wide receivers in the pattern. Rivers pounding them down. Here comes the snap, back to throw. Rivers to the flats. It is complete to Edwards. Nice move to elude tacklers and gets inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Brought down by Curry again along with Clarence Gaddy. Devontae Edwards has already caught a touchdown pass.
The formation forced Carolina into some sort of a zone. It really looked like they were outnumbered on the edge. Rivers saw it, got the quick toss. Now you watch an athlete take over. See, the white shirts do get in to help him, but this is all athleticism there.
3 wide receivers to the short side of the field now for Phillip Rivers. He'll send all 3 over to the other side and bring another tight end back to the left. NC State making Carolina adjust with all of their movement. Rivers, play action. Has lots of time, throws, overthrows, Cottery. And there to cover for the Tar Heels is Kevin Knight, the senior out of Suffolk, Virginia. And that's the first miss of the day for Phillip Rivers.
See, Steve, the razzle-dazzle is great. It helps keep your practices enthusiastic, but it's got to count for 7 for NC State. If not, then it's all bells and whistles. And that's the one thing now. I'm impressed that they've had no penalties with all of the formations, but they've yet to catch Carolina off guard, which could result to a score.
Well, they barely got away with it last play as the play clock got down to 2 before the snap. It's now down to 8 as Rivers brings Peterson back in motion, pitches to him.
He's going to toss it.
He's going to toss back to Rivers, wide open, and Rivers skirts the sideline and steps out of the 2. It's a play he scored on 2 years ago.
He's coming back.
He got a flag back at the 30-yard line.
It's a coming back.
Peterson and Rivers hooked up once. And it's a hold against the Wolfpack. It'll call the razzle-dazzle back.
Doc Holliday not happy with this. It looks might have been on the outside. 89. Joe Gray may have had a little cloth. Great athletic move by Rivers, showing you how competitive he is to try to hit the pylon.
The pylon almost blocked the ball out of his hand.
2 yards out of bounds. He's still reaching. I like it, but you could sense if one thing so, maybe Peterson needs to sell that just a little harder.
Well, negate the play and take it back 10 yards deeper to the 34-yard line. Edwards is in motion. 3 wide receivers to the wide side. Pressure coming on from Chapman. Pass complete to McClendon. McClendon on his way. McClendon inside the 15 down to the 11. The cast on his right arm at all. After breaking a bone in his hand 2 weeks ago, did not play against Massachusetts, and he gets another Wolfpack first down.
Well, we hear a lot about stumbling, bumbling, rumbling. That's it right here. Again, Rivers under some pressure. Carolina is putting some pressure on him. This kid kind of wicks it out. Now watch this. This is a downhill runner, making it happen, stumbling, but making the move.
Broke 24 tackles in the overtime win against Texas Tech. That went for 23 yards. 1st and 10 at the 11. Potchery in motion. Rivers hands to McClendon. McClendon up through the seam inside the 5. Tripped up there by Devontae Coleman at the 4. Red Roof Inns presents this look at red zone proficiency, and the Wolfpack have been down here quite a bit. 35 times. They've scored 27 touchdowns. They've only failed on 3 possessions inside the 20.
Let's just say they're familiar with the surroundings.
Yeah, they've been here a lot. When you've scored over 53 times, you get used to it.
They're no stranger to success in the red zone.
2nd down and 4. Rivers checks off, hands off McClendon. McClendon, touchdown, NC State.
Wow.
The Wolfpack drive 80 on their first possession. Coming out with every unconventional formation they could think of, and T.A. McClendon gets his 11th touchdown of the year and puts the Wolfpack up by 6.
It's all about up front. Those guys in the white shirts, string of pearls, kept it together, man on man. They beat him at the point of attack. Touchdown pack.
McClendon, as the Wolfpack scores quickly. It only took him about 4 minutes to do it. Austin Herbert on for the point after. Here comes the kick, and it is good. So the Wolfpack step out on front with a beautiful 80-yard mark from their own 20. We get to see Wolfpack defense at work next time, but McClendon puts on the show for the game's first score. State on the back of T.A. McClendon and the passing of Phillip Rivers. March to the end zone. 7-0. Scoring drive, 80 yards in 11 plays. McClendon with his 11th touchdown of the season. And Chuckamotto pretty happy. Rivers went 5 for 6 on that drive and 60 yards in passing. And a couple of them to Devontae Edwards. Back to receive Darrell Mitchell.
Hills made him earn it, and that's important.
Yep.
It made him earn it.
And Wright lets it go out of the end zone. And so both teams get excellent kicks from their kickoff people and put the opposing offense in work at the 20-yard line. Let's go to the sidelines. A little bit on the electricity of this place. Mike Hogewood's been feeling it down there.
Yeah, you're right, Steve. And sometimes a drive will take the home crowd right out of it, but that hasn't been the case. They know that it's important for them to be in it, for Carolina to get something going on offense. And I was on the state sidelines. Steve and Doc, this is a team with a lot of confidence right now. That week off really doesn't seem to have affected the timing of that offense one bit.
They've been itching to get hit and shoulders into ACC play after their successful non-conference action. They had one ACC win against Wake Forest. Back to throw. Durant on 1st and 10. Intended for his favorite receiver of a week ago, Borders, but it goes incomplete. Durant, 10 touchdowns so far this season. 27 in his young career with only 7 starts. And he's completed nearly 60% of his passes. 7 interceptions. He'll bring them out here. 2nd down and 10.
You know, it's so important now to establish yourself to play off what Mike Hogewood mentioned. They've got to do something to keep this crowd behind its offense.
Majority of the 60,000 here are wearing Tar Heel blue. Quick pass complete to the tight end. That's Hilton, and it's close to a 1st down. And it's going to be a 1st down for the Tar Heels.
Exactly.
Our Chevy starting lineups, Chesley Borders. What a week last week. Doubled his output in touchdowns. Jacques Lewis, Madison Hedgecock, Sam Aiken, the top receiver for the Heels, and Zach Hilton. We'll see a lot of Bobby Blizzard. Jeb Terry ranked him on the top 25. An offensive lineman, McNeil, Wilson, Brown, and Seagraves. Up there along with him. 1st and 10, Tar Heels, their own 30-yard line. Aiken split wide out to one side. That's Borders in motion. Handoff goes now to Lewis. Turns the corner, heads for the 1st down marker. He'll just be on it. 10-yard gain. Maddox and Hudson force him out. Let's take a look at the Wolfpack defense as we continue. Sean Price, 5 sacks this season. Jarek Hall, Terrence Martin, and Drew Wimsatt, who's also a good pass rusher. Freddie Autry Lindsay subs for Gibson at the strong linebacker spot. Antonio Burnett, 8 tackles a game, leads the club. The backfield, Terrence Holt, Lamont Reed, Andre Maddox, and Marcus Hudson.
And Holt and that Burnett, you talking about 2 outstanding players.
Of course, Holt has blocked 6 kicks in his career at NC State. 3 thus far this season. 1st and 10 for the Heels at their own 41. Orders, and now Durant wants a timeout. Durant didn't like what he was seeing out of the Wolfpack defensively, and he decided to call timeout and come to the sidelines and talk it over.
You don't want to have a bad play early on. You talk about ignite the crowd here that isn't red, but things like that will do it. Hits and call.
He's talking with Ken Browning, who's in touch with Gary Tranquil, the offensive coordinator up in the booth. Here's Browning, who just nudged, of course, Darion Durant. Now, if you're just joining us, NC State drove down the field. T.A. McClendon on this pass goes 23 yards to set the Wolfpack up inside the 10-yard line. 2 plays later, he'd take it in. On this sweep to the corner, he hits the pylon, and the Wolfpack stepped up in front. They did it in 11 plays.
And it was a brilliant combination of finesse and power. You know, it's one thing to set you out in formations, but when it boils down to you, they were able to knock them off the ball and get a score.
And part of that was the deception they used in the formations that they came in their first 4 plays from scrimmage.
Yeah, and the biggest thing about the completion, of the formations rather, is that it didn't confuse State. That's the benefit of the bye week.
Exactly.
In the bye week, as Mike Hogewood alluded to, you can work on some little things. But the most important deal, fresh legs.
And pretty good balance on that drive as well. In the 11 plays, 6 were passes, 5 were runs. Tar Heels gather themselves. They've got 2 first downs going on this drive. That's Borders in motion to the wide side of the field. Handoff to Lewis. Gets a nice block from the tight end Blizzard and moves ahead down to the 45-yard line. Antonio Burnett in there on the tackle, along with Freddie Autry-Lindsey, who is a late start to the lineup. There's Jacques Lewis, 73 rushes, 3.8 average. 1 touchdown so far this season, 2 in his career.
He's got to compete today at the highest level, because as long as they can hold the ball, get down, get some points on it, and keep Rivers and company sipping on the Gatorade, then the Heels have a good chance.
Exactly. That was a big concern this week. Here's Lewis again, headed to the corner this side. He's close to the first down. They'll mark him shy by about a yard. Great change of direction by Jacques Lewis. A sophomore from Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Tracking him down there was Andre Maddox.
Just no substitute for speed. Here's a guy who's got to make quick reactions. Yeah, you like to have that ball in the outside hand, but then again, we're standing up here watching it. This guy's under the gun, and he made a pretty athletic move.
He escaped the third leading tackler of the Wolfpack, Pat Thomas, when he changed direction. Second down now. And they'll bring the ball out near midfield. They did a measurement here. Jim Knight is the referee for this afternoon's game, and you can see the Tar Heels are short by about 18 inches.
Well, that's why you have Jeff Terry on your side. I mean, that's what it's all about. You have to have a guy on your offensive line you know can get an inch, get a yard or so.
NC State has been very efficient stopping people on third down to only 27%. Big third down conversion for the Tar Heels, who get it at 37% at their end. Durant gets it easily following his right guard over the 50-yard line and down to the Wolfpack 48.
You talk about the experience, the guy Jeff Terry, who I mentioned. I mean, we know for a whole year this guy has thought about that play, thought about this game. And as an offensive lineman, you can't wait to have your number called. If you watch now, the blue shirts getting low, they had leverage, came off the ball. You know, you got to have attitude.
Yep.
You got to know you can get it in short space.
Well, you saw Jeff Terry in the open. You knew he was confident. He says, what rivalry? We've beaten them 8 of the last 9 times. Here's Lewis. Again, he gets back to the line of scrimmage barely, and the Wolfpack grind him down. This is a good Wolfpack, if yet unsung, Wolfpack front group. There's D'Antonio Burnett. This is a 92nd meeting. The Tar Heels have dominated this series, winning 8 of the last 9 and 60 overall of the 91 previous games. The last Wolfpack win came in this stadium 2 years ago.
So despite the records, it's clear that, you know, Carolina is not at all. I mean, they feel like they can compete.
Second down, 10. Back to throw out of the shotgun. There's the screen. Parker dropped the ball, picked it up, but they're going to mark him incomplete at the 40-yard line.
Ooh, he had it.
Yep.
That was so close. If you're a Heels fan at this point, then you just dropped your popcorn. Because they set this up, they were patient under a terrific rush, and right at that point, he was thinking more about running than receiving.
Boy, look at the green territory ahead of him, huh?
Now, he had some real estate.
Oh, yeah.
And a convoy.
And now they're facing third down again, but a much tougher choice here. 3rd and 10 instead of 3rd and 1.
Well, this is when Chuck Amato can let the Rat Pack out now.
And they got some pass.
They will send the dogs.
He's got George Anderson on one side. Wimsatt to the bottom side, back to throw, 7-set drop. Here's Durant. It is incomplete. Right through the hands of Chesley Borders on an in pattern at the 35.
And that one drop ends up where you had to make a perfect play. And against pressure, you knew that Chuck Amato would send the Greyhounds. They're coming at you. Pretty good pass pro in the circumstances, but couldn't make the play. Might have rushed it.
John Lafferty comes on. It's been a tough year for Lafferty. He's down 4 yards in average per kick as a punter. Won't have to get a long one off here, but this one hangs up. Fair catch called for at the 17-yard line by Jericho Kochery. So timeout on the field with 7:57 left to go in the first quarter. Wolfpack leading 7-0. We'll return after these messages from your local ACC station. Football as we look around the country. This is Rivalry Saturday. We used to wait until the end of the season before you get some of the big rivalry games, but this seems to be the one, the second weekend in October. As we look at our Ice House NCAA scoreboard, no score in the Sunshine State. Clemson by a field goal in Charlottesville, and a tie ball game of the Big Ten between Michigan State and Iowa State. Back to throw with plenty of time. There's a flag down on the play, airing it out, and a catch by missing, but it may be coming back.
Yeah, bring him back.
It was incomplete. He dropped the ball, but some damage will be assessed to the Wolfpack at the start of the play.
Boy, they are explosive.
Oh, boy.
Weapons all over the place. Play action again. When you can run it, you get respect from the linebackers. Phillip shows you he can toss it out there. That's down yonder. The catch.
Oh.
He might have lost. Yep,
yeah, he lost right there.
Boy, that's great camera work.
That is terrific. Yep, we've grown accustomed to that. Ball pushed back to the 9.
Well, that Dave Burchett. I mean, doesn't he put it together? Puts everybody in the right spot. What a director.
He just got fined because his name was on the air.
Good, that's what he wants.
Sean Burton is lined up at the wing as the tight end. It's a holding call against the Wolfpack. Makes him 1st and 19. Rivers, sidearm sling to Burton. Now we must explain that Burton comes into this game hurt. He'll hobble back to the huddle on an ankle injury he suffered 2 days ago in practice. He's the best walking tight end that the Wolfpack have and that they've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, but he's a tight end. He'll play hurt. You know, he'll be where he's supposed to be. He'll do all the things it takes to win.
That time the ball was thrown behind him by Rivers. It's 2nd down and 19. He's a transfer student, by the way, from West Virginia. 2nd and long for the Wolfpack. Moyer in motion. McClendon gets the call. Good block from the fullback. And Defante Coleman can't stop him before he gets out of bounds. He's going to be marked out at the 29-yard line, and he fumbled, but he was in control as he crossed out of bounds.
The Carolina's got to make that play. Carolina needs a hero on defense. Somebody's got to come up and match this intensity. They pile drive in the middle. I mean, you get knocked off the ball. Right now, State, and of course, as we alluded to earlier, you got to put that ball on the right side. If he put it over on the right side of his body, he still has possession.
However, the right side is where the cast is.
And that's exactly why he had it on the left side.
Right. There you go. That's why he's got to watch himself.
Absolutely.
He's been getting better with that all week.
No excuses. No excuses in football.
No. He handles it with the left hand this time over the 30 to the 32. 7:29 left to go. Second down and 8. Wolfpack after the 2-yard gain, and McClendon bailed them out of a hole. They were down on their own 9-yard line. Looking at 2nd and 19. Three wide receivers to the left side. Gray, the tight end, is an H-back. Rivers blitzes on, pass incomplete. Bang, bang, play. Rivers sensed the pressure, got rid of it, but couldn't connect.
Well, Dexter Reed is one of those guys I talked about. You know, be a hero. He had tremendous pressure right up the gut. Little things like that, you never know. A flash of blue might have caused Rivers to hurry to throw.
Third down and 8. 6:52 left in its first quarter. Now Rivers changing formations as he goes along. You wonder if this is by design or if this is a checkoff.
It looks good.
Has some time, steps up, fires one. It's going to be under the receiver. And had the defensive back on the play, Kevin Knight turned around, Doc. He might have had something.
Yeah, it would have been payday. You got to give Carolina a lot of credit. They withstood the storm.
Aided by some holding penalties, they hem the Wolfpack deep, and now they'll force the punt by Austin Herbert, junior from Cary, North Carolina. Herbert averaging about 36 a kick. His longest is 51. 7th in the ACC. Both teams have struggled with their punt game, but this is a good one. Waddell at the 20. Waddell back to the 30. We have a flag down up to the 34-yard line. A 48-yard punt, a 10-yard return, but a flag to deal with out over the 37-yard line. 2 flags, as a matter of fact. So Jim Knight and his crew will sort this all out.
Well, you can't have clearly a block in the back. See if we caught. No, we didn't catch all of it. You want your head in front. You know, it sounds simple. Again, all of this sounds simple. There it is right there. See, you got to have the head in front. Sounds simple as we sit here and talk.
Illegal block in the back at this spot. Holding by the receiving team at the upper spot. 10 yards from the spot of this flag. First down.
So that'll back it up to the 18-yard line, where the Tar Heels will take over 1st and 10 after holding Phillip Rivers incomplete in that series. Wolfpack lead by 7. Oh, there's the Ram mascot. That's his idea of heading to the concession stand. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line, and Durant back to throw. Has plenty of time. A soft pass out for his tight end, incomplete. Taking that time for Bobby Blizzard, the transfer from Kentucky.
Well, Mr. Lindsay would have nothing to do with it. First down twice now. The opening play, he's tried to squeeze one on the sidelines.
Yeah.
You know, like a defense is so quick, like States, you need to take something in the middle. Take what they give you.
Durant 1 out of 5 so far in this game. 2nd down and 10 now for the Tar Heels at their own 18. Draw play goes to Lewis, and it's not going far. Meeting him right down at the line of scrimmage is Jarek Hall. A symbol of just how tough this rivalry and intense it can be. Coming up next from Mike Hogewood.
Well, Steve, A.J. Davis was one of the top recruited players in North Carolina last year, actually committed to the Tar Heels, and at the last moment changed his mind, signed with NC State. They were counting on him as a true freshman at cornerback position, but he tore up his knee in preseason, out for the year. He'll wait till next year, but he's here today.
3rd down and 10 coming up. Tar Heels still looking for their first positive yards out of this drive. Durant has some time. Pocket closes in, and he'll go down. Hauling him down, Drew Wimsatt with help.
It's great coverage.
5th-year senior from Damascus, Maryland.
That's great pass defense. And that's what it boils down to. Because I thought Carolina really picked it up well up front. I mean, that's more than enough time. Got to make a quicker decision. You don't want to take the sack because it ignites a riot. It really gets these people excited. The Wolfpack is a feeding frenzy if they can get tackles for losses and sacks.
First 3 and out of the day. Lafferty getting ready to kick it away. Carolina with a late substitution into their punt unit here. And the game clock winds its way down to 10. Patry is back to catch the punt. Lafferty gets it out of there. No fair catch. Patry at the 50, the 45, and driven out of bounds by Defonte Coleman at the 41-yard line. A 34-yard punt, an 11-yard return, and a flag down on the play.
Vicious hits in this ball game. My goodness, watch it. That shoulder collision.
Sounds of the game as Patry's thrown into the sideline. Jim Knight talking it over with a member of his crew.
You know how good State is in teams. There's no way you should be able to put that kind of pressure on and get a return.
On the return, holding by the returning team. After the play ended, dead ball, personal foul by the kicking team. First down.
So Jim Knight makes the call. For the best deals on cars, trucks, and SUVs, visit your local Toyota dealer today. John Bunting, not happy with the performance of his offense. Came in here very worried about his defense. One thing that John Bunting is very worried about offensively is the fact that the Tar Heels have yet to generate a viable ground game.
Yeah, sooner or later, it always comes down to, can you play muscle ball? You know, if you need, they showed they could get a short yard. Now they've got to be able to run the ball on first down. And you've got to be able to do it. State has shown that they can be cute, but they can also get ugly. And that's what Carolina's got to prove.
Well, that's what T.A. McClendon's job is, to make it ugly.
He can get it ugly.
That's right.
And those horses up front.
You said it before. That's the way you keep Phillip Rivers on the sideline.
No question about it.
Got to control it on the ground. Here comes a handoff to McClendon. A white wall going to the left. He'll cut through several would-be tacklers and gets down to the 30-yard line where he's close to another Wolfpack first down. What a valuable weapon T.A. McClendon is.
Well, you know, some guys don't live up to the billing. This guy may go beyond. And again, that's with an injury, a cast on his right hand. Now watch him, has a great feel. So that's great cutback. He's able to read and continue to keep his speed. Nice balance. This kid, he has it.
Well, they thought Phillip Rivers is special, and he is. But this kid is special as well. T.A. McClendon gets the call again, and he's a workhorse, but he's tripped up from behind, and a good tackle by Clarence Gaddy. Gaddy, along with Doug Justice, stop him up. Gaddy's a sophomore. Doug Justice, a redshirt freshman.
Again, the Heels need heroes on defense.
It sounds like there's a song in there somewhere.
Yeah, well, maybe so. We can get our producer, Scott Snyder, to put some lyrics together.
New backfield in now for NC State. John Richard, Josh Brown are the setbacks. That's Brown and the lone tailback now. He'll get the flare pass in the flats and get stopped. Great tackle. Making the play, Clarence Gaddy again.
Oh, Gaddy is nasty. He's got a cast on his right hand as well. What he does is outstanding on this play. He never gives up the outside shoulder. If you have contained, keep contained. Plays off the block, physical play. That's outstanding.
Loss of 3 brings up 3rd and 13. Patry split wide to the right. Hicks and Edwards to the left. Rivers repositions Josh Brown behind him.
Carolina with a bit of deception.
Here comes the pass, and Devontae Edwards can't make the catch, but a flag down on the play. Now the question is, who's it going to be against?
Kevin Guest. Instead of, he didn't turn and try to locate the ball. He assumed the ball was there, threw the arms out. There was some contact. This will be interesting.
This will be, because I thought there was contact and pushing from both sides.
Well, again, by guessing.
And Edwards is going to be the guilty party. It's going against the Wolfpack.
Here we get a great look again. There's a little bumping. Yes, indeed. Yes, he did. He pulled away. Great call. Edwards tried to steal one. Nice steal guest.
Pass interference. Phillip.
He's talking to Phillip Rivers.
Offensive interference. That is declined. 4th down.
So instead of giving them 3rd down from inside the 40, they'll give them 4th down, decline the penalty, and bring the kick unit on.
Yeah, another victory for Tar Heel Blue, because, you know, this offense is so explosive. It's just a matter of time before they get a run. And you ought to always be cognizant of a fake. Anything with NC State.
Right. Herbert is 4 out of 6. His longest is 43. This is from 50. It is a fake quick kick. So instead of trying the punt, they'll try to wedge the Tar Heels in deep, and they'll do just that at the 2.
Got him.
Good quick kick by Austin Herbert of 38 yards. There's no return, and the Tar Heels find themselves 98 yards from the end zone. And coming up next week, we'll head to Charlottesville, Virginia, one of the great vistas of college football. And the Virginia Cavaliers playing Clemson today will greet East St. North Carolina Tar Heels. It's a great state-to-state battle. Be with us Saturday at noon on your Jefferson Pilot Sports Station for Sitco's ACC football.
I know what's going through your mind right now.
What's that?
Charlottesville. What does that mean?
Charlottesville. Yeah. That means
that red light.
The red. Krispy Kreme.
I knew it.
Those donuts, they just go along the conveyor, and Doc and I are there all night.
Slice of life.
Oh boy. 1st and 10 from the 2. Here comes Durant. Big rush on. Hit as he throws. Complete. Sam Aiken bailed his quarterback out at the 22-yard line.
Boy, that took forever to come down. But Sam showed some courage on that one. One thing Durant has got to do, he's got to speed his operation up just a tad. Boy, what hands. That's picture perfect. And again, a still good pass pro.
Yep. As Sean Price fought off the block.
Yeah, he's giving him enough time to make plays.
1st and 10. Tar Heels at their own 22. Here comes the fake reverse. Durant looking for an option to pass and throws it behind Chesley Borders. Timing not exactly right on that play, and you have to thank the Wolfpack for that.
Well, you got to thank Reed, because Lamont Reed, took away, in this case, Aiken. They wanted to go downtown again, but he took it away. NC State's secondary thus far has been near perfect.
They have. They're not letting anything in deep. They might let them squeeze something off in the corner. But Borders wide one side. Aiken wide to the short side of the field. Durant's looking wide side. Now comes back to the short. And will be driven out of bounds at the 25-yard line for a gain of 3. As Pollard makes the play. Roger Pollard.
Roger got scratching the surface on this one. That's what these rivalry games will do. I mean, people just pull the ripcord. Well, let's watch this. See, he's out of bounds. He's going out. That's momentum's going on now.
Pollard is.
That's still football.
Just don't think of coming back.
Still football.
3rd down and 7. Borders split wide to the top. Aiken to the short side. Darion Durant and Phillip Rivers, total offense leaders here in the ACC. And a bad snap. Durant recovers, fires a pass complete for the 1st down. Chesley Borders at the 37-yard line. A hookup of 12 yards on the play. And it keeps the Tar Heels offense on the field.
Well, this play won't make their highlight reel, but it's effective. It'll be in the stats book. The gunslinger, doesn't panic, puts the ball right on the money.
I want to get to talk about what John Bunning and Gary Tranquil said about Darion Durant after this play. They've got a lot of different skills, but not the biggest guy in the world. Here comes the end around, and that is Jaworski Pollock. He's got speed, gets up inside for 5 yards.
Oh, boy.
We got a player down.
I hate this.
And that is going to be Price. He's a good one. Wolfpack medical staff surges across the field.
Yeah, Sean's an animal. 5 sacks. I mean, he leads this Wolfpack group. Tenacious player. And I just hate to see him grab the legs.
Trainer Jamie Call is out there. Let's see it again.
And one thing about the Pack players, they're going to pursue the football. And he actually hits it.
He hits his own player.
Yeah, comes in contact with his own player.
Yep. He hit George Anderson that time.
And I sure hope it's just one of those kneecap to kneecap, little pain, on the bone hit, and that he's okay.
Well, we'll have plenty of stats to talk about at halftime, and they'll be brought to you by Alltel. Our Alltel halftime stats tell a chronicle of this ACC football game as we look at Sean Price, with concern growing on the NC State sideline. There's Price. There's his report card for the season. 5 sacks, 3rd in the ACC. 6 tackles for loss. And comes off on his own power. Well, this rivalry is about hits. Chuck Amato played in this rivalry. He knows the importance of this very game.
Maybe one day we can make this rival they can talk to it at the same breath as they talk to Florida State rivalry, or the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry, or the Oklahoma-Nebraska rivalry, or the Southern Cal-UCLA rivalry. And you know what? I think all the people from North Carolina State and all the people from the University of North Carolina would love that.
I think John Bunning and Chuck Amato are the 2 ideal people who can get that rivalry to that level.
No doubt about it.
Coaching at their alma mater.
Passion, man. That's what it's all about.
The inside shovel pass to Aiken. Aiken threading his way for a 1st down and gets it out to the Tar Heel 48-yard line. Chip Cross, the redshirt freshman from Conway, North Carolina, with the stop, but Sam Aiken gets the 1st down.
Boy, Hedgecock finishing a block 15 yards downfield. That's what Carolina's got to do in order to win this ball game. I mean, they got to play over their heads. This full screen underneath, 44, pit bull downfield blocking, way beyond the play, and that's all about attitude and commitment.
Borders is split out wide side. Split twins to the top in motion now. It's Aiken. Fake handoff on the reverse, and Durant to go. Durant flagged down on the play. He's knocked out of bounds at the 38-yard line of the Wolfpack, but there's a the stop. Officials' flags have dropped quite a bit this afternoon.
Man, the innovation, Carolina with a few tricks. But it's all about quickness.
Holding. It's the Tar Heels who walk that play back.
There's Seagrave, 75, coming around the corner.
By the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat the down.
Couldn't see inside, but, you know, you got to keep those hands inside the framework of the numbers for the offensive lineman. You can't get them extended. That was a nice play.
It was.
And the key to going against State is that you better do it in a hurry.
Yeah.
Because if you try to outflank these guys and cut back, forget about it. Because they pursue the ball in a disciplined fashion.
When you're going off the playbook a little bit, you better make sure that your own guys got it right.
Yeah, well, that's the key. That's the key to winning.
You got the first down, but they back it up to the 44-yard line of North Carolina. Tar Heels, near interception by Greg Golden. Pass intended for Jaworski Pollard. Golden with the play. A very good secondary.
Boy, this is the best secondary play I've seen all year. I mean, you love it when kids go after the ball. They claim the ball.
Brings up second down now. There's Golden, who spent some time on the offense, as a matter of fact. Practices with both units during the week, but more lately he's been with the defense. You see him there, the sophomore from Fort Lauderdale.
Well, Coach DeMaris has been talking to those kids about those meeting rooms. I'm going to find out.
Durant over the middle. Pass is complete. Pollock with the catch at the 31-yard line. There are no flags on the field. First down, Tar Heels.
Big play. Rod Johnson on the stop. And this is, boy, a precision route. Pass protection is there. Quarterback on the look, the sling. Ball on the money. Boy, that's the way to split the zone.
Wow.
Put it right on the mark. There was no margin for error. He didn't need it. That's good throw and catch.
Nickelback Rod Johnson catches up with him, but it's a 26-yard gain. And the Tar Heels are in Wolfpack territory for the first time today, trailing 7-0. With the throw, Durant, out of the hands of Pollock again. Maddox covering on the play.
Got to use your hands.
Yep.
Pass protection on that is splendid. The Heels are doing everything it takes now to win a ball game. Now, you talk about a pocket. Not that any of us here could do this, but this is what the quarterback wants. He wants to know that he can have a clear sight of vision, step up, and let it go. Receivers, catch it with your hands.
Play started on the North Carolina 18-yard line. We're in the 11th play of the drive. Second down. Minute 5 left to play here in the first quarter. Durant with pressure. Gets away from one hit. Burnett in pursuit. He squeezes away again and gets out of bounds at the 20-yard line. He's close to another Tar Heel first down.
Well, I talked about a hero on defense. Durant is a hero for the Heels. I mean, this kid now is carrying this offense on his shoulders. I mean, we're not talking about no ordinary blitz package coming at you. We're talking about NC State.
We talked with Greg Williams, defensive backfield coach for the Wolfpack yesterday. He said the thing that's most impressive about Darion Durant, and he showed it there, his lower body strength. He dodged 2 tackles and created 15 yards where there should have been none.
Reminded me of Ronald Curry on that, too.
Yeah.
And balance.
Ooh, Lewis cuts to a big hole. Lewis dodges a couple of tackles and gets down to the 6-yard line.
Four heads caught. And the animal at fullback.
What a hold, Doc.
Now you're talking about momentum, a true belief that you can win. And it happens up front. You got to get nasty. See, that's a great cut. Nearly lost it as the Wolfpack, they're going out to strip it. But, buddy, that blocking at the point of attack, Madison Hedgecock, brutal.
First and goal from the 7 for North Carolina. Down by a touchdown, handoff Lewis, met in the backfield. I guess Sean Price is okay. What a hit by Sean Price, who was helped from the field a few moments ago. He's recovered and throws him for a loss back to the 11-yard line.
Sean says enough is enough. And those are guys that can change the game. And you can't belly flop. You're not going to block Sean Price laying on your belly.
Loss of 5. Red Roof Inns presents this look at red zone proficiency. Tar Heels in the red zone 14 times. They've scored 9 times, 7 on touchdown, and we have come to the end of the first quarter, and it's a exciting one. So far, the Tar Heels trailing the Wolfpack. T.A. McClendon with our game's only touchdown, a 4-yard run to cap the 80-play march as the Wolfpack leads the Carolina Tar Heels by 7.
John Price make a huge play a moment ago. He has a bruised knee. He's in pain, but this is State Carolina. You're not keeping him off the field, Steve.
This great rivalry in its 92nd renewal has the Wolfpack leading here 7-0, but the Tar Heels are driving in North Carolina State territory. Pass is complete, but no, didn't have it long enough. And boy, is Jaworski Pollock showing us something.
Yeah, but that's overexposure. That's too much exposure. And Darion's got to bring the ball down. Oh, he'll end up losing a few of his receivers. I mean, that's duck shooting there for the Wolfpack.
That's well put.
And plus he had pass protection. Steve, you can't waste an opportunity when you have protection.
That's right.
You know, either make the throw or get out and run it.
3rd and goal from the 12. John Bunning and company don't want a field goal out of this. They started this drive from their own 2. I erroneously said the 18 earlier. That's after the quick kick by Herbert. Here's Durant with time again. Durant looking, throws, incomplete, intended for Blizzard in the end zone.
Got to run it.
Oh, he had Price.
Got to run it.
Or Wimsatt and Price in hot pursuit.
If you watch film against NC State, you were never alone on offense. Someone is in hot pursuit of you. At this point, he's got to use his legs. He's unselfish, and that's what happened. You know, kid's unselfish, trying to get his team involved. No. Put it on your back and take off.
Dan Orner on to kick the field goal. This one will be from 30 yards away, actually 29. This should be a chip shot for him. 6 out of 7, his longest to 55. He had 3 kicks at 50 or better against Syracuse in the win for the Tar Heels there. This kick is good. A 29-yard connection. Completes a 98-yard march. They started at the 2-yard line. Orner's kick completes the drive. A little disappointing for John Bunning that they didn't get it once they got down inside the 6, but they get points on the board.
Yeah, you have to score. Plain and simple. You're playing in a game where you're climbing uphill, going against an undefeated team in your backyard. You got to maximize.
And you stop them twice.
Absolutely.
So your defense, which had been taking all kinds of grief all week, all of a sudden came up and made 2.
And it goes through an errant throw, high throw. You know, you got to make every play count. And you know, it's a cliche, but you got to make every play count when you're basically running uphill.
Well, you look at the first quarter stats, they're pretty even. State, 64 on the ground, to North Carolina's 50. In total yards, are almost even, but the Tar Heels have had 8.5 minutes of possession, and McClendon has been the key possession man, and he did not play the last 2 series for the Wolfpack.
You need to keep Rivers, McClendon, and all those guys sitting on the sideline with Mike Hogewood. You know, if I'm Coach Bunting, I want Mike interviewing those guys over there. I don't want them on the field.
Well, the Tar Heels get 3 on Orner's 7th field goal of the season. He's a transfer from Michigan State. And now more excitement coming because back in receiving formation is going to be Lamont Reed, and he'll be joined back there by Sterling Hicks.
You know, Sam Aiken made a real nice catch to get things started, but it was the most physical offensive performance by Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the one thing about it. And I talked about, you know, Hedgecock, this guy, the fullback, but they had some people up front that really sold our bodies out.
A couple of key 3rd down gains, one by Jock Lewis and the other on a pass to Sam Aiken. And this will be Lamont Reed, and he will come out of the end zone. Reed changes direction, heads to the corner, but won't get enough. Brought down at the 14-yard line. Coming in to make the play, Cedric Holt. Also making a play for the Tar Heels. No, that's Cedric Holt. That's him all alone. So there's Lamont Reed.
Maybe not the best decision to bring that one out, but, you know, early on, first half, go for it.
Yep.
You know,
why not?
You got some speed, you never know.
I want to say hello to Skeeter Francis, a longtime public relations man in the ACC and well-known around the conference. Been ill lately. We understand he's recovering nicely, and we're thinking of him, Skeeter. First and 10, NC State. And the sack of Phillip Rivers. Dante Coates, the junior from Chesapeake, Virginia. His second sack of the season, and he pushes Rivers back to the 7.
Well, you talk about here, that's the ghost there of Sims and Peppers a year ago. I mean, those maniacs in that defensive line, all we've heard about is the youth on this side of the ball. Well, guess what? That young man decided he wanted to step up and be a hero.
Only the 6th sack of Rivers this season, a loss of 7 on the play. Well, back to Wolfpack, back to the 7-yard line. McClendon's back in there at tailback. Potchery and Peterson are split wide to the right side. Draw play to McClendon, big hole right tackle, he's off. Better not arm tackle. When you get him, he gets out near the first down. T.A. McClendon rushes out to the 21-yard line.
Boy, and Chance Moyer, fullback for NC State. I mean, he's the guy that deserves a cheeseburger on this one.
Let's go to the sidelines and Mike Hogewood.
Steve, just to show you how determined he was to play this week, when he started practicing with that cast on Monday, he couldn't catch the ball. He was trying with one hand. He couldn't carry the ball. It hurt. They've tried 3 different casts. They found one that was comfortable. He worked on it for 2 days and said, "You're not keeping me out today." This is a guy who's playing with determination. And remember, they put a screw in that right wrist just 10 days ago.
McClendon with 7.6 a carry. We've got a timeout called by the Wolfpack at the 13:38 mark. Coming up with a 3rd and 2. He went off the field. Now let's see if there might be something else wrong with T.A. McClendon.
Yeah, he's a little gimpy.
A little gimpy here.
But as Mike mentioned, man, if you go have a screw put in your wrist and go through this, you're going to play.
Well, in the first of 2 games that these 2 teams played in Charlotte at Erickson Stadium, L.C. Stevens scores on his 2nd touchdown to put the Heels up 24-3, but the Pack comes back. Torrey Holt's 2nd touchdown of the day cuts the lead down to 7. After a Ray Robinson touchdown, Danny Descovich would get up there and hit a 28-yard field goal in overtime. Carolina gets the ball in overtime. Oscar Davenport finds Nate Brown for the game winner. The Tar Heels win a thriller in Charlotte, 37-34. They would play one more game in Charlotte. It will be won by the Tar Heels. Chuck Amato says, "I don't care if we have to go to Carolina. I'd rather play it either at their place or our place. To heck with a neutral field."
And I don't blame you.
No.
And evident by the red shirts that are here. I mean, driving in, we saw pickup trucks, luxury cars, yellow. We saw these things in red and blue and flags. That's beautiful.
There was some drama for Chuck today. He was riding in a state police escort car. It blew a tire. Had to climb in the bus and come unescorted to Kenan Stadium this afternoon. 3rd down. 3. Wolfpack up by 4. McClendon back in the game, but he's not going to get the first down. Clay Roberson led the charge by the Tar Heel defense.
Steve-O, he led the charge. But Dante Coates, again, this was his series.
Yep.
You talk about barreling off the ball. At 300-pounder, left side of your screen, he's down at the bottom. He just created a curve in the play. So McClendon had to arc where he wanted to go. That is great play by a young defensive lineman.
Austin Herbert to kick it away. Mike Waddell waiting for him. Here comes the kick. Spiral catches some air, drives Waddell back to the 38. Waddell has juice and gets to a yard shy of midfield. Maddox brings him down, but it's another great place to start a drive for the Tar Heels. A 41-yard kick, an 11-yard return. North Carolina down by 4 with the ball when we come back. NC State leading North Carolina 7-3 here in the 2nd quarter. Hey fans, now's your chance to enter Toyota's You Pick 'em sweepstakes. Just go online at jpsports.com, click on the Toyota banner to register and pick the winners. Weekly prizes will be given to the participant with the highest total. The grand prize winner to be announced on November 23rd gets a new 2003 Toyota 4Runner. The Toyota You Pick 'em sweepstakes. See jpsports.com for the official rules. Entrants must be residents of Florida, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Here's Willie Parker. Hits the corner and gets down to the 42-yard line of NC State. A nice gain of 8 yards to bring up 2nd down and 2.
Well, Willie Parker regained his confidence. Willie cost him a little earlier in the 2nd possession when he dropped the screen pass, would have picked up some pretty big yardage and kept a drive alive. But it's plays like that. It's so clear now that Carolina is in the driver's seat in terms of momentum.
They created some momentum on that last defensive series. Here comes Parker trying for the first down, and he's got it. Maddox has to bring him down, wrestling down at the 38-yard line. And it's going to be a gain of 3. Good enough for the first down for the Tar Heels, trying to take advantage of excellent field position.
See, now they've taken on the attitude to let's bang.
Yep. Oh, look at that. Florida State trailing Miami on our Ice House scoreboard. And Virginia stepped ahead of Clemson. We'll go to Virginia next week. Here's the first down play. Durant with plenty of time. Bullet over the middle, complete. It's Sam Aiken at the 24-yard line. Pick up a 15. Move the chains again for North Carolina.
And the difference in this ball game is the pass protection. I mean, Durant stepped up and he had time. And I don't think State counted on this. I mean, great pass, bro. Clear line of sight. I mean, that's perfect. Ball on the money. Sam goes up, creates a bigger target, throw and catch.
Offensive line that has only one senior in it. That's the tight end, Zach Hilton. First and 10 at the 23. Hand off Parker. Cuts inside, hit once. The first hit there by Pat Thomas slowed him down, so he got knocked down at the 21-yard line. There's Thomas.
Yeah, this is exactly what Chuck Amato's group does. I mean, they get the big hit, tackles for losses. They're disruptive, and thus far, they just haven't had an opportunity to do it.
Thomas so far this season with 34 tackles. Chuck Amato looks on, and we want you to know that for the best deals on cars, trucks, and SUVs, you visit your local Toyota dealer today.
Good SUV, man.
Yes, I am. Second down and 8. Durant scrambles. He'll be caught from behind. Wimsatt. Drew Wimsatt gets him at the 21. No gain.
That's why he's really got to speed up his internal clock. If it's not there, go.
Yeah.
Because the thing that State's going to do, they're going to continually pursue you. Somebody's coming after you. It's not one of those defensive units to where you can buy time on second, third level. Not happening.
Actually, a loss of a yard here. Third down and 10. Tar Heels have faced several long third down plays today.
Designated QB draw, things of that nature. Those are good plays against State.
Especially this close to the end zone. Durant, short drop, throws for the end zone. Got it! Touchdown! Bobby Blizzard!
Well, Blizzard shows you why they continue to go to him. As 12 receptions, now his third touchdown. They tried to do this earlier in the first quarter, and he kind of ran out of sidelines. 6'3", 276. That's a load getting in the second level.
11th touchdown pass of the season thrown by Darion Durant. And the third touchdown catch from the transfer from Kentucky, Bobby Blizzard. Order on for the point after out of the hold of John Lafferty. Kick is up, and it is good. And North Carolina leads for the first time this afternoon on a 21-yard hookup from Darion Durant. Upstairs to Bobby Blizzard in the right corner. We'll be back after these messages from your local ACC station. Tar Heels by 3, 10-7 over the North Carolina State Wolfpack. And our Citgo ACC game of the week, the scoring drive took 6 plays. 22-yard hookup from Durant to Bobby Blizzard, his third touchdown reception of the season. It only took him 2.5 minutes to do it. They had excellent field position to start their drive. Here comes the kick, and it backs Golden back. It will go out of the end zone. And it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. The Wolfpack will come out on the field in an unaccustomed position thus far this season, trailing. They've trailed a total of 9 minutes and 34 seconds all season. You can start the clock now.
I really believe that what Coach Galbraith and his group has got to do is get back to their opening series.
Right.
You know, get back to the razzle-dazzle and bells and whistles.
Chuck was really upset with the offensive formation out there. Rivers now back in the shotgun with McClendon protecting him. 3 wide receivers, right side of the field on 1st down. Shovel past McClendon. Slowed and hit. Making the initial stop, Jermicus Banks. Banks is one of those who originally committed to North Carolina or North Carolina State and then changed with a changeover in coaches and decided to be a Tar Heel. And look at McClendon.
Yeah, McClendon's down. Shane Riggs, 50, was his personal protector, but he didn't get a chance to hit anybody. And as a result, they lost in the numbers game. They grabbed an ankle right at the end. And that's just, again, great pursuit by the Tar Heels.
Banks with the tackle. McClendon still on the field. 2nd down and a long 9. Handoff now to McClendon off left side. Shows no effects for the injury and gets a 1st down.
No, he's a baller.
Yeah.
This kid is a legitimate baller.
Flag thrown in late on the play. And he's hurt a little more intensely this time as he rolls over on his stomach and trying to stay away from that left knee.
Yeah, but if I'm Carolina, I don't pay any attention to it. I just watch this guy just run passes. You know, get him off the field. If you're Carolina Blue, you want him off the field. If you back the pack, you just love his courage.
Yeah, they got him listed at 214, Doc, but he certainly looks a lot bigger than that.
He carried a pile. He carried a Tar Heel, 5 Tar Heels on his back.
Let's see if we can see.
With a cast on.
Yeah.
Gimpy leg. Big heart. Big heart.
Oh, yeah.
Good stud.
He's on the sideline. Josh Brown takes his place at tailback. There's McClendon's day so far. 17 yards of the shy of the century mark and a touchdown. Rivers, quick drop. Slings it out a little too far away from Brian Peterson. And that's too bad, Doc, because they had some green territory in the back of him, too.
Yeah, they did. Well, they're pressing. What happens is that you say to yourself, hey, man, we're the Wolfpack. We're supposed to dominate this ball game. And you didn't count on this opposition. Now you're pressing things. Does the receiver hold up? Should he have run through it? Or the ball? And see, Rivers is like, okay, my bad. We're better than this. And you just let it go. You let it go.
Junior from Athens, Alabama had a great first drive. He completed his first 4 pass plays. It hasn't been nearly as successful since. 2 of 8, in fact, since then. Back to throw again. Pass out there to Peterson. Gets Peterson in the open field, but a nice stop by Derek Johnson, junior backup cornerback from Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
See, they've lost their swagger. Boy, they would usually get a short catch, big run, and Carolina's beating up on them right now mentally.
3rd down coming and 6. Wolfpack trailing by a field goal. Rivers under center, now steps back in the shotgun. Play clock down to 10. Rivers, big blitz, had to get rid of it. Carolina with a jailbreak. They brought Dexter Reed in from the free safety position, and that stops the Wolfpack drive.
Hey, they brought the tuba player, the bass player. They brought the tambourines. They brought everybody on this one. All out jailbreak. Rivers tries to make a great play, jump throw, but it's not enough.
Brings up 4th down. Here comes the kick by Herbert. Catching it there is Waddell. Change of direction. Waddell looking for a wall and caught from behind.
Waddell.
Jericho Cotchery makes the tackle.
He needed some help. Gilmore turned into a spectator.
33-yard kick. Not much of a return, as we give you our viewpoint from Kenan State. A great place to do a game on a beautiful afternoon. But I can tell you, Doc, yesterday afternoon when we came up here about the same time, there was a puddle down midfield with 5 inches of rain.
Well, I was praying for you last night.
You were.
Absolutely.
Well, it drained.
Absolutely. Now, we have it. This is a perfect football setting. We have two teams now that feel that they're equal. You know, Carolina, I think, has elevated this game, and they believe they can win this ball game.
Well, they're up 10-3, 10-7, rather. And they're looking at 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Darion Durant back to throw. Blitz is on. Pass is too much air there for Jaworski Pollock, and we have a flag down near the line of scrimmage. See what the flag is going to be. Jim Knight. It's offensive pass interference.
This could have very well been a pick, Steve. If you look outside, yet what the idea is you can't stop. I mean, you just can't stop and let the guy run into you. You have to play it off more. So we have to give, in terms of acting, that was poor.
Pass interference on the offense. Half the distance, repeat the down.
So both teams have been assessed a pass interference. Jefferson Pilot Sports would like to welcome Bell South as a new sponsor on our ACC football telecast. Be sure to stay tuned next week for details on how Bell South's giving you the chance to win $1 million. $1 million and a trip for 2 to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in Atlanta on New Year's Eve, including airfare, hotel accommodations, and tickets to the game, of course.
I wanted to donate all of it.
There you go. 1st and 20. Blitz is on, but they shovel it ahead. Lewis breaks the tackle and that's some territory. Lewis gets the 1st down, drop the ball, but it'll be dead at the 36-yard line. A 26-yard gain.
Donate all of it to the Walker Fund.
Yes, sir. Worthy fun.
Worthy fun.
I'll throw my half in there, too.
Got another little gimping. Everybody's gimping and limping. Hard hitting going on. Lewis here shows you, man. He's got a little shake and bake.
Oh, that
it was
hit
the knee. Yeah, the knee in the head. We'll do it every time.
Yep. Willie Parker takes his place in the backfield. 1st and 10 after the 26-yard gain. This is Parker. Nothing doing on the left side, and when he cut back, he ran into Pat Thomas.
Well, now it's time for me to extend that hero call for NC State. They need a hero on defense.
Yep.
Somebody now to come through with a big pop, a strip, a tip, and change the momentum, put it back on their sidelines, because they have clearly flattened out.
D'Antonio Burnett. It's a guy who could fill that role very nicely.
He's a good one.
24 tackles last year in a game against Clemson. 2nd down and 11. Durant, draw play.
I love this play for them.
Durant gets over midfield into Wolfpack territory at the 46-yard line.
And there's the swagger. See, I love this play against State because they get upfield so well. There we see Maddox down.
He made the tackle, but not before Darion Durant had picked up a 1st down on a gain of 19.
Again, Darion showed you his 227 pounds. I mean, that's a load. And then right at the end, well, you never know. Those bodies get twisted around. And
well, there's been, I mean, in this type of rivalry, we're not surprised at the type of hit we're seeing.
There we go. Love to see him get up, cool off, come on back and get some more of that.
He says, don't help me off. My mom's watching.
Yeah, that's right. You never want to show any weakness.
That's right.
Go over on the sidelines and throw up.
Andre Maddox, a sophomore from Miami. There's the rushing yard, the ground game that both teams like to go to, and North Carolina's got to be happy with what they've gotten off the ground.
Happy is an understatement. Thrilled to death that they could compete on the ground, because with that gives them balance and ultimately play action that produced a touchdown for them. How about this?
Oh, our Ice House scoreboard shows the Seminoles leading the Hurricanes 10-7. And Clemson has stepped ahead of Virginia in a seesaw game at Charlottesville, and that's where we'll be going next week. 1st and 10, handoff Willie Parker, but you're looking for heroes. D'Antonio Burnett acted like one on that play. He stops him after a yard at the 45.
Antonio is extremely comfortable in that role. They count on him to be there. What they didn't count on was that they would be able to control the line of scrimmage. And you have to give Carolina's young offensive line a lot of credit for that, because they have definitely opened up some opportunities in the ground game and given him great pass protection.
2nd down and 9. Aiken split wide to the right. Pollock and Borders are split wide to the left. Durant, there's a blitz on. The screen pass to Parker. And Parker moves ahead to the 40-yard line. About a 5-yard gain on the play.
Great recognition. You feel the dog. You don't panic. Little outlet pass. You pick up 5, and you take some wind out of those pass rushers.
Stevens helped make the play as well.
It's very difficult to pursue the ball play after play after play. And that's what you hope you can do if you're an offense going against a quick defensive unit like State.
3rd down and 4. Ball at the 40-yard line. Tar Heels here leading 10-7, looking for more. Durant back to throw. Lots of time, but underthrew. Sam Aiken.
He knows it.
Yep.
He knows it.
Ball goes the other way on the other shoulder of Aiken, and they got a 1st down and maybe a score.
Well, it's so hard. You have to work so hard to be successful against NC State secondary, and then when you get an opening and you get pass protection to come on top of it, you got to make the play.
Oh, yeah. He had the time, Doc.
Yeah,
clearly.
had to play. Had to play.
Lafferty in on the punt, and so the Tar Heels will squander that good field position that they got. And they'll punt it away from about midfield. Lafferty, 34 yards, the first punt that he kicked, and this one called for on the fair catch by Jericho Cotchery at the 14-yard line. 26-yard kick that puts the Wolfpack back at their own 16. 1st and 10, down by 3. Will return to North Carolina.
Football is brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealers. Get the feeling. Toyota.
Last time we saw T.A. McClendon, he limped off the field. The word is he has a bruised calf. Painful, but this guy is tough. Playing hurt today, Steve.
Close it in on the century mark, and an essential ingredient if NC State's going to keep their offense on the field. They're 1st and 10 from their own 14-yard line. Steve Martin, Doc Walker, Mike Hogewood, as you just heard. Here comes a handoff, McClendon. Nice cut, change of direction, and it's all power to the 13-yard to the 17-yard line.
Well, Coach, once again, Dante Coates, it looks like he's a bit shaken up. For Carolina, had great penetration, but this time McClendon made the right cut and was able to still succeed.
Coates comes to the sideline. McClendon picks up 4 yards on the play. They'll bring up 2nd down and 6. And we have not seen those unconventional formations, as Doc said, since the first series.
Yeah, got to get back to them. They work to create space.
Downfield, 80 plays, or 80 yards in 11 plays. Here's the pass complete to Peterson. First hook up to him today after the 25-yard line, and it's probably going to be good enough for a 1st down at the 26.
I'll tell you what, Peterson is, I mean, he's such a big-time player for NC State. This time, Phillip eyeballs him the entire way. Boy, that can be so dangerous, because if as a defensive back, if you get a good break on that and you trust it and you have a little deep help, you make them run on that ball.
Waddell makes the stop. It's going to be 1st and 10. In motion, Cotchery. Rivers to throw. The pass complete. Sterling hits. Shakes off a blocker. Changes direction, but it doesn't get him that far. Coleman makes the stop. Good pass hookup from Rivers to Hicks, and it gets him into Tar Heel territory at the 45, a 35-yard gain.
Now you see why Hicks averages 12.4 yards a grab. Nothing special about this. This is just making a play. Carolina had a shot to make a tackle. You miss it, and just like that, now you're trailing. And watch the momentum start to work his way back into a little bit of red and white.
Well, the Wolfpack's got to worry about some time, though, Doc. It's only 3:44 left here in the quarter.
Enough to score.
Yep, enough to score. Especially the way they've scored so far this season. That's the throw. Rivers out of the shotgun. Pass. Oh, what a catch. That is Cotchery, who's been their big play receiver out to the 33-yard line of North Carolina. A 12-yard hookup and another Wolfpack 1st down.
That's just no fear. no fear on the part of Phillip Rivers. As we watch it again, still eyeball. Look at the slinging it, boy, right on the money. Good catch and run.
A lot of people take Rivers to task for his throwing motion, but it's worked to the tune of 7,100 yards in 2+ years at North Carolina
He can
State.
sling it for my club.
You bet. 1st and 10. Peterson to the top. Edwards to the bottom of the screen. Going for Edwards deep. Edwards picks it up. No, incomplete. Field judge Ronnie Stewart waves it off.
Boy, Edwards had it. You talk about right on the money. We'll let our excellent camera crew show you just how and why. Once again, I think this is going to catch him in the end. He's eyeballing those receivers, but, buddy, the ball is there. Can't be any better. Great coverage, great throw. Couldn't hold on to make the play.
Too much of it touched the ground. It looked like he held on. Instead, it's an incompletion. Goes for 2nd and 10.
Is that a beautiful picture of what?
Oh, that's something. Here comes a double reverse.
There we go.
Peterson back to throw with time. He wants Cocciarino. Beautifully set up, though, Doc.
It was. Had us going.
If he'd have gotten something on it.
Needed some Wheaties.
Yeah.
See, that's where your breakfast comes into play, you know? It just needed a little bit of oomph on that because he didn't have it. He threw that like it was a shot put. And what you want to do at this point, let's see if he gets the feet. See, feet really not set up.
No,
that's ugly.
Carolina had some coverage out there, but that camera shot might have been a little deceptive. There were about 10 yards between each of those three
players. That was touchdown. One move, make a guy miss, you score.
What if he'd have thrown it and he was able to catch it on the run? Bang.
Yeah, the band is playing.
Yep. 3rd down 10. Open backfield. Rivers. Tracked down there by Coleman. Incomplete, intended for Burton.
Oh, he picked the wrong guy.
Yeah.
He had Hicks open. He had Hicks wide open and just missed it. Hey, I can never blame him for going to a tight end.
Oh, no, you never will.
No, never could. Great move. But look at Hicks. Hicks, he knows it. He knows it. He had nobody on him.
He's wondering, what did I do to get ignored?
Well, his quarterback was saving his life.
That's right.
Trying to make the play.
Defani Coleman was in Phillip Rivers' grill. That's why Hicks didn't get seen.
Yeah.
And now NC State going for a field goal here. This is a 52-yarder by Austin Herbert, whose career long is 51. No. Line driver shuts it down. And the NC State drive that looked so promising about a minute ago stalls in North Carolina territory at the 35.
You got to build off the positive. They've got to go, okay, we know we had opportunities. We stopped ourselves. They didn't stop us. And you got to believe that. And then come back and try to get the football. But their defense, I mean, this is the signature of this club. Chuck Amato's a defensive guy. And he's a guy who wants to put his mark on his program. He's done that. Now his defense needs to come through and make a play.
Well, his defense is interesting. They don't have technically a defensive coordinator at NC State. Chuck has a great hand in what the defensive calls are. Joe Payton, Greg Williams have to input there too. Pass for Pollock is incomplete. Darion Durant has had a pretty good afternoon. Hit Bobby Blizzard for a touchdown. And there you see the elusiveness of Durant, the lower body strength. Here comes the pass to Akins in traffic. And the touchdown grab by Bobby Blizzard.
Another intelligent quarterback knows how to find his tight end. Make himself famous.
Second down now coming. Oh, penetration at the line of attack. And that is going to be Terrence Martin. He got across the line of scrimmage almost when the snap did.
That's what I'm talking about. That's Wolfpack football. See, you have to reestablish the line of scrimmage. You got to make plays happen. Tackles for losses, sacks, tips, interceptions. The defense controls the tempo of a ball game. That's outstanding.
He's a senior from Toano, Virginia. Another great Tidewater product. So rich recruiting area for a lot of schools.
Talking about plethora of talent, boy.
Oh, yeah. Loss of 3, 3rd and 13. Tar Heels up by 3. Pass complete. I don't know how, but it's complete to Borders. It's going to be short of the first down at the 43.
Steve, just for the headache he took on that. If there's ever a chance to give a guy a first down, you have to vote for him. Okay, let's watch the route. Good double receiver combination. Threw it right in the middle of a mess, but he threw it right on the mark. Boy, that's gutsy.
So the punt unit comes on. They're going to be, or are they going to measure? They gave him a pretty good mark.
He did.
They're going to bring the chain gang out. They need between the 43 and the 44, and they are just over the 43.
But when you have momentum and you're at home, even if you're short, I go for it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You come out, you tell NC State that you don't give a hoot about their record. You don't give a hoot about anything, that they're on your turf. See, that's the attitude. Now, again, I won't be critical if they punt because I don't get the repercussions if it fails. But that's how I feel.
That's the no-risk comment right there.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but I doubt it.
Well, they got the chain gang out there as if they look like they're teasing. Hey, look, it's only this far.
It's only that far, yeah. Coach Bunny said, hey, look, we're very happy with what we've done this first half. We're not going to blow it. Yeah.
We're not going to give Phillip Rivers the ball 43 yards away from his own from the end zone.
But you know what? You try to call him off, even if you come out there and go hard count, you know, and make him take the 5 and punt it.
Why not?
But you stay aggressive. You're playing too well.
Patry is back to get it. It's a dig! Oh, my goodness! What do you say, Doc?
Hey, it's all about guts.
Look at that.
Guts to be good, brother.
The short snap to Jacques Lewis. He gets the first down. Bring the offense back out.
Boy, this is football here, brother. If you're not into this, you're not alive.
Oh, did Lafferty sell the high snap? And there's Lewis getting the short snap and getting the first down.
And if he had received a little more help from his teammates, instead of spectating, he might have scored.
Well, must have had a line down at the Carolina bench. I think John Bunning was thinking the same thing you were. Here is the pass. Durant incomplete. They wave it off. Hit the ground first before Jaworski Pollock got it.
It's about you seize the moment.
Right. And now Carolina will call a timeout with 59 seconds left to play. Tar Heels want to call timeout here and assess things. Well, Chesley Borders has done his job so far this afternoon. Again, North Carolina close, but last week, you talk about ambitious. Chesley Borders went to work with 4 touchdown pass receptions. One of 28, another of 11, that one of 36, and a 74-yarder in the game's waning moments. A big touchdown strike for Borders for the go-ahead score, and a 38-34 win over Arizona State, which is no slouch of a football team.
No, not at all. They had just put up 100 points or so on Stanford the prior week, coming off a 3-game win streak. He was in a zone. It's like me out on the golf course. Some days, you know, I'm just in that zone.
And then the other days you bring club.
And then other days.
Second down.
Oh, boy.
Stay tuned. Coming up at halftime, we'll be highlighting the best of the ACC, presented by Don Pablos. I just had to get that in.
I've been in the zone. Not on the links. Didn't last long, but...
When the drink
One
cart
shot's
comes
out of zone, huh?
Yeah.
No, 19th hole, boy, I'm rugged.
Yeah. Durant back to throw. Almost intercepted.
Oh, boy.
Right in the lap of Terrence Holt. Incomplete, stops the clock with 55 seconds left to play.
Boy, he had Mitchell going on the post right down the pipe. It's just a matter of how risque you want to live. Pass pro, yeah, he had enough time.
Oh.
That's just Holt. Be leery. That's one guy I don't think I'd mess with.
No.
I'd find where Terrence was and go opposite.
Third down. North Carolina has 1 timeout remaining. The Wolfpack have 2. At their own 48-yard line, leading by 3. Durant has some time, scrambles around, trying to look for a receiver, now has to tuck it under, and it's too late. Winsat makes sure he stays down at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, that's strong state not trying to get timeout. Well, let's switch the tables. You want to be aggressive? Chuck Amato says we'll be just as aggressive.
They're going to take a timeout here. They have one.
You better believe it, brother. Now, this is where this kid is special. But you need help from your buddies. See old Jeb coming in? trying to take a leg. He just couldn't get away.
You know, Durant is out there in an area where, you know, you say, well, all right, make the decision and go. But he feels if he goes back and reverses field, he might buy time for a receiver to ad-lib a pattern.
Yeah, that I'm not critical of. What I like to see him go on is when he's going to go vertical.
Right.
Which you make up your mind, because the quarterback draw has been the most effective running play now against State, because of their, you know, they get a field so quickly. And they're so aggressive, you want to try to counter that.
So NC State talking things over here. They're down to their final timeout. We're down to the final 34 seconds of what has been an exciting first half. North Carolina pushes ahead on a 21-yard pass play from Darion Durant to Bobby Blizzard. It happened almost 10 minutes ago. Of course, next week we're going to follow the Tar Heels up to Charlottesville, Virginia, and our Citgo ACC telecast from Jefferson Pilot Sports will be in Charlottesville at high noon. And the Tar Heels and the Cavaliers, another old ACC rivalry between these two border states. And we'll be with it here at high noon on many of these same Jefferson Pilot sports stations.
Seems like Carolina has a number of rivals.
Tasted the success that they've tasted in several sports. You tend to pick up some rivals. Some of them not on your contiguous borders. Here's Lafferty. He'll kick it this time. Line drive kick. Patry at the 19. Patry gets slowed just enough and finally gets dropped. London Mariani was the guy who had a hold of his shirt. It's a 41-yard punt and a 7-yard return. And the Wolfpack now will have the ball back with 23 seconds left to go. They have one timeout remaining, and they're sitting at their own 26-yard line. There's Phillip Rivers. Completed his first 4 passes of the day. It's been a little rough after that, although he had some success on that last drive. Rivers comes in with a quarterback efficiency rating of 177. Second in the nation. And off McClendon. Big wall right side. But it closes down quickly thanks to the play of Kevin Knight. Knight, the senior out of Suffolk, Virginia, makes the stop. Clock running down. State not making any attempt to stop it. Seen a heck of a first half, and these two teams are going to talk it over at halftime. Wow. Jordan. Whoa. Been a great first half. Mike Hogewood coming up here at halftime as the Tar Heels lead the field in the lead by 3, 10-7. Mike Hogewood down there in search of Coach John Bunning, but what a first half we have seen between these two arch rivals. The Tar Heels down early 7-0 with 10 unanswered points, and with John Bunning, here's Mike Hogewood.
First of all, Coach, after that first series, boy, did your defense put a different story out on the field. What did they do different?
Well, right now they're playing their best defense of the year, and I'm proud of them. But there's 2 halves. It's a 60-minute ball game. We got a long, long ways to go here.
What are you going to tell this team in the locker room?
Well, I'm going to tell them to come back out with the same intensity, same focus, same purpose. Let's come back out here and play our best second half of the season.
Everything you expect a rival game to be, huh?
Absolutely. It's a great ball game.
All right, John Bunning headed to the locker room with his North Carolina Tar Heels on top 10-7. We'll be back with our halftime in just a moment.
ACC football is brought to you by Cooper Tires. Cooper Tires don't give up a thing. By Fast Signs. For signing graphic solutions made simple, call 1-800-FAST-SIGNS. By Don Pablo's, the real enchilada. By Motel 6. For the lowest rate of any national chain, call 800-4-MOTEL-6. And by your neighborhood Citgo. Proud to support today's athletes. Citgo, we know you.
Room down 3.
We have to make plays. We've dropped 2 or 3 interceptions. We've missed tackles on the quarterback, who's their best player, and he's awfully good. We drop a touchdown pass in the end zone. We've got to make plays. It's that simple.
P.A. McClendon seemed like he was a little banged up at the end of the half. Is he okay?
He's a tough kid. He's too young to know that he's not hurt.
All right.
Okay.
Chuck him out, Steve.
Is that a comment or what? He's too young to know whether or not he's hurt.
Good.
Oh,
That's good stuff.
I got a
Chuck.
feeling we'll see a lot of T.A. McClendon in the second half. But the Wolfpack doing something that they haven't had to do through the first 6 games very often, and that is fight from behind. McClendon so far, 13 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown. Well, you know, that saves really on your wardrobe.
You go ahead and you're wondering what you're going to wear for the day.
Well, you folks just feel good now that their money's going in the right place, you know. You work your tail off your whole life to send those 2 guys to college, and that's what you get.
They know enough not to waste their money on clothes.
Yeah.
Just a spray can, and it's done.
Thanks, Mom. Suppose you're a real big guy.
Oh, man.
A lot of paint, huh?
Yeah. You're in, yeah. Well, see. Well, never.
I was going to say, you were going to say exactly what I was going to say. We know we've been too hard on you.
I have the same physique anyway.
Well, no, we're just not going to mention Snyder like that. No way. No way are we going to do that.
All right. Sure. Wolfpack will be kicking off to the Tar Heels to start the second half. And this could be a big drive for North Carolina. Their defense has come and answered the charge this afternoon. And they have an opportunity to build a double-digit lead on North Carolina State, something they haven't experienced this year. Adam Kiker getting ready to kick it off. And back deep. Oh, no. There comes the wall as Wallace Wright gets himself out over the 20-yard line to the 22. 24-yard return. Take a look at what North Carolina did in there. First half possessions. Took in the first 2 possessions were like training drills, but then after that they started to pile up some first downs, and eventually it paid off with field position.
Well, they had that one little drop on the swing pass that was open at the time that they didn't make a play on it. That was Willie Parker. Willie since has redeemed himself in fine fashion, and they got their confidence.
First and 10, they have it at their own 22-yard line. Willie Parker starts at tailback instead of Jacques Lewis second half. Here's Parker. Has a block on the corner. Nice cut upside. And Jupiter Wilson helped him get out to about the 25-yard line to a 3-yard gain.
Oh, Jupiter was serious on that pull. 312-pounder out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Turned the corner. I'd like to run behind Jupiter.
Jupiter Wilson on the block. You see him, young man.
Big Jason Brown, 72 in your screen.
Yep.
Jupiter Wilson, 71.
It's a young.
Neal. You have Terry Seagraves doing a job.
It's a young group. But they've done a good job controlling the line of scrimmage so far in the first half of the ball game. Durant. Wimsatt in pursuit. Pass complete to Hilton, the tight end. First down and more. 3 yards shy of midfield.
The Zach attack.
Only senior on that offensive line. 21 yards on the play by Zach Hilton.
Boy, Blizzard with the touchdown catch in the first half. This time, well, that's the change about when you can get out of the pocket. Now he's creating. And those intelligent tight ends know how to come back and help the quarterback.
First and 10. Handoff now goes to Parker. Parker dancing up inside. Runs into D'Antonio Burnett and Drew Wimsatt, among others, and gets maybe about 1.5 yards on the play.
Oh, Lindsey turned it up. That's what he's supposed to do at the outside linebacker spot. When you know you have D'Antonio Burnett inside, then you turn everything in. Force it in because you know he'll come there and drop the hammer.
Antonio Burnett, and I want to remind you that Jefferson Pilot Sports welcomes Bell South as a new sponsor on our ACC football telecast. Be sure to stay tuned next week for your chance to win $1 million and a trip for 2 to the Chick-fil-A Bowl in Atlanta. Second down and 8 for the Tar Heels. Blitz is on. Durant gets rid of it, and what a catch by Pollock. Down to the 33-yard line. First down for the Tar Heels. Durant hung in there, took the hit, and the results were good.
And the hit was by the hammer. Burnett right in his grill. And yet, he gets it up. We can take it a little high into that kind of pressure. And this is what we're talking about. You need a hero. You need somebody to go up there and get it. Pollock does it, sells out the body, and Carolina is moving.
2 heroes on that play, really. Durant to take the hit, and Pollock to get up there over the middle. First and 10, handoff Parker, and Parker snared down there. Looks like Pat Thomas, who's been active this afternoon. Thomas stops him after a 2-yard gain.
The body language by NC State now, I don't like. I mean, they're a defense that thrives, man, off excitement, and they don't look like they're enthusiastic now. They're a little down. They need a big play to kind of rev that engine up. There's a guy who can rev an engine up. Ferrari.
Oh, boy.
especially with those sunglasses.
Yeah, I need to talk to Chuck about those.
Future's so bright, got to wear those shades. Durant over the middle, pass complete to Mitchell. Darrell Mitchell, true freshman out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, makes the stop, makes the play, and he gets it down to the 20-yard line.
To be quite honest with you, Steve-O, he just had too much time.
Yeah.
I mean, NC State had the reputation of a pressure defense, and now it's not happening. And you give Durant that kind of time, and these receivers, see the depth. I like the relationship between the two receivers. No one guy can cover both.
1st and 10. Here comes a handoff, Parker. Parker pushing ahead. And he rode a nice block there by Jed Terry all the way inside the 15-yard line down to the 16. Gain on the play of 4.
A very confident Jed Terry.
Yeah.
As we found out in our league meetings, that was clearly the most fun we had talking with these ACC players celebrating the 50th anniversary there. Parker, it wasn't a great play, but he gave great effort. Kept the motor running, kept the feet alive. There's Big Jed.
What did he tell you when you asked about the rivalry?
I'm still laughing about it. Still laughing about it.
Handoff goes to Parker. Parker has some running room, gets down to the 5. Yeah. An 11-yard gain. There are huge holes being poked in the Wolfpack defense now.
Well, they're walking the dog now. This is when, as an offensive line, you can stretch your stuff. Coming off, teeing up. Look at the bases right here. See, you're going to see the cut right in there. That's exactly where you want to go, buddy. You all the way to the end zone. See those blue shirts are staying up. No belly floppers. If you stay up, you can get it going. The double team tag on the left side, man on man. There's Jeb dominating 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. Hey, folks, that's picture perfect. And when you stay up, you can keep a drive alive.
Willie Parker in the back of the day in this drive. We have a timeout on the field. There's Parker. And we have an injured player down there, and it looks like it's Maddox. Andre Maddox, a sophomore, who was the leading tackler in the secondary with 47 tackles.
Yeah, kind of like knocked the wind out of him on that play.
Well, there we are. And we got the best seat in the house.
Yeah, we do. This is fun. I mean, fun rivalry game. Two teams. We talked about all the animosity that goes on, between the two universities. But here it is now. And what you're battling for who gets bragging rights at the hot dog and hamburger stands in the offseason, see?
Well, these guys live amongst each other for
Absolutely.
364 days. Today they can do something about it. Want to remind you that the announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. The broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Atlantic Coast Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited.
I think you could do that without the card, big fella.
I did part of it.
I like the compensation part, though.
That's news to me. All right. First down coming with 10:54 left to go in the third. And the Tar Heels are driving, knocking on the door, 1st and goal. Man, I thought we were paying them to do this.
Oh, my goodness. Where's Jimmy Rayburn at when we need him?
Right behind us. Durant, 1st and goal from the 5. Tight end in motion. Handoff goes to Parker. And Parker runs into D'Antonio Burnett. And Pat Thomas also on the bottom of that pile.
Boy, there was a function at the junction on that play. Our guy, Jeb Terry, again.
Red Roof Inns presents this look at red zone proficiency today inside the 20. The first journey was successful. Touchdown pass to the tight end Blizzard. Parker, 6 carries, 22 yards in this drive. Will he get the call this time around?
Well, Terrence Martin, 90 in white, is a guy who can make a play for the Pack.
Fake to Hedgecock. Here's the pass complete. Touchdown. That's Rob Faison, the fullback. NC State North Carolina with great play action. They caught NC State sleeping inside.
Well, when you can run the ball inside, you've earned the respect of the backers. That's the beauty of having a respectable running game. That was a great play call. You got to give Gary Tranquil all the credit in the world on this. Just love those fullbacks. Those fullbacks who come in and help you out over and over and over in crunch.
Here comes the kick. And it is good. There is a flag down on the play, however. Arner's kick is good, but let's see what the flag is going to be. Faison, a 5-yard touchdown reception. reception and the first touchdown for James Faison. And this drive was really something. Started with a scramble pass to the tight end, Zach Hilton. That went for 23 yards. Set up another first down, and there's a seeing-eye pass right in the middle. Here's one to Darrell Mitchell, the true freshman. The carry by Parker got the Tar Heels down to the 6, where this play ensued. The play-action pass to James Faison for the score. Durant 4 for 4 in the drive. The drive, 10 plays, 78 yards. Took almost 5 minutes off the clock and puts the Tar Heels up here by 10. Topher Roberts with the kick. This is Greg Golden coming out of there. Golden had a block. He got out to the 30. Let's watch his scoring play again, Doc.
Faison, as you mentioned, before the 217-pound junior, shows you how to get it going. And we're going to show you the play in a moment as it's coming up on my screen, which is not, so we'll talk it through. I think Durant had a lot to do with that play because he showed real strength. The strength to be able to get that little shot put roll and get it over to Faison.
1st and 10. Wolfpack now. Here's the handoff. McClendon turns the corner, turns on the speed. You ever notice?
There's some knocking going on there, buddy.
I'll tell you what, the McClendon, there are a lot of collisions in his vicinity.
Yes, indeed. I mean, this young man, and what amazes me is just clearly his youth, but his maturity on the field, how he runs like an older player.
He does. Look at NC State. They march down the field with a lot of different formations. They haven't shown us that since then, as the last 6 possessions indicate. McClendon now over the century mark here with his 12-yard gain that gets the Wolfpack out to the 43-yard line. 1st and 10, McClendon. Clearly a workhorse here. Tried to duck out of the tackle, but is caught at the 46-yard line.
Well, I think Chuck Amato said at halftime, you know what, fellas? We're going to come out and find out who's the nastiest group. Who's the ornery critters in between the two of us? Who really wants this? And it starts at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And right now, the guys in the white shirts are going after it.
You know, when they got the ball with 3.5 left in the first half, they were intent on scoring, so they wanted to score quick. They put the ball in the air. It didn't work. You're right. They're going back and saying, we're going to beat you tackle to tackle here. 2nd down and 6. McClendon can't get outside. Oh, shook off that tackle. Look at that stop and start. And it got him a 1st down.
Unreal.
Jaquish Dumas with the tackle, but McClendon probably should have been stopped about 2 plays in or 2 yards into the run.
I mean, this is like outside playing. This is like playing on a video game. I mean, this guy goes in, pops back out, should have been locked up, and this is why Tar Heels have got to gang tackle this young man. You have to have people coming in waves. Great effort on the outside, too, like Kustra.
I'm just amazed how he backs up at the right time.
Barry Sanders look, huh?
Yeah. Edwards in motion across the formation. McClendon is the workhorse this drive. McClendon turns on the juice, puts the ball in the left hand, and runs out of steam at the 6-yard line. Flag thrown in.
Well, tackled, yeah, over by the hedges. I would guess that's out of bounds.
I would say so. 39-yard jaunt by T.A. McClendon.
Locklear, Kustra, that offensive line right side, watch him. They pull great backside cut there by Calmer. Now you see it. He's going to have daylight, start thinking about the ball. But he's got playing with a cast. What a courageous warrior. Great run.
I feel like I put it in my right hand, but they'll get it. That's with a cast.
Where's the Velcro when I need it?
The penalty marked off after the play. He was driven out of bounds late. It's half the distance to the goal line. It'll take it to the 3. There's McClendon catching a blow on the sidelines. 17 rushes, 9 per carry.
This is all about attitude, buddy.
Right.
State came out and said, we will recapture this ball game.
D'Antonio Burnett, well, linebacker, is in at fullback right now. Josh Brown with the carry. Josh Brown down to the 1. Well, State's got several guys they go both ways with. Greg Golden is one. But look at D'Antonio Burnett. He's in the backfield as a fullback. Brown gets it down to within inches.
You're an undefeated team. Here's the hit machine. You know, the guy just has to have contact. Hit free.
He wants to go over and hit some people. He had to hit.
Yeah.
I hit the defensive player.
These guys over there. I think Ray Lewis with the Ravens could do that kind of deal.
Second and goal. Rivers over the top. Does he get in? Touchdown. NC State. Just like that. No passes.
That's all attitude. That's a statement drive by the Wolfpack. And I guarantee you Omada got in there at halftime and challenged their manhood. You're 6-0, coming off a bye game, and you're walking around here dragging your heads, getting your butts whipped. And I guarantee you, he went in there and lit the fire.
Rivers goes over the top. That's his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. The Wolfpack now find themselves up. We got a flag down in the end zone.
Now we have a little wolfing and throwing arms and elbows.
Now, here's something. Jed Paulson has just come to the sidelines, which is probably normal in a, I don't know if they talked to him or something. Rivers and Paulson come out. Now, Rivers is going over to talk to Chuck Amato.
He's selling, man.
He wants to, you think he's selling a two-point conversion?
Absolutely.
Let's see why the penalty was called here after the play.
Getting that little extracurricular. Few jabs to the short ribs. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you pull the helmet, stretch the face mask, you grab a little cloth in the back. Those are all normal functions at the bottom of the pile.
And he'll mark it off.
I didn't see anything unusual.
Same old day in the office.
Hey, grab a little flesh.
Perfect for the point after. Now, let's see what Jim Knight has stopped this for here.
Steve, you ever had your stomach or part of your love handle grabbed and just twisted? I mean, you don't have a love handle, but I mean, when you used to, you know, before you started that Olympic program training you've been a part of, and it just have it twisted.
I don't have a love handle. I got a snow tire. But, you know, somebody wants to grab that, they're going to have a big job on their hands. There it is. There, look at that. Is it steel belted or what? There. There is no pride in this booth. We can't get away from it. They're going to.
Yeah, I wish we had a camera in our truck.
Yeah,
buddy, we got some. Yeah, we got some wide-angle players in that one.
All right, let's see what the call is here. There's been a lot of, I don't know what's going on after this point after. Judging by the amount of talking they're doing, NC State could be kicking off from the North Carolina 30 for all we know.
I want to give Jimmy Knight's crew a lot of credit because they've let these guys play.
The penalty will be administered when half the distance on the tribal point.
Okay, there was the discussion. Was it going to be marched off on the kickoff, or was it going to be marched off here? So that changes the point after kick from an 8-yarder to a 9-yarder, I guess. Here's John Bunting. His team now has seemingly lost some of the momentum they gathered at halftime as NC State took it down the field. Oh, he got it. Kick is blocked. Who's going to get it? Still loose. And this could go all the way. One man left to catch Doug Justice. Justice crumbles the football. The Tar Heels get it at the 20. Doug Justice on the blocked field goal.
Well, Waddell comes in for Carolina, and NC State comes in with the billing. Man, they're the kick masters. Snap is clearly off the mark. The hit, and at this point, now you talk about a scrum.
Yeah.
But it's on. This is every linebacker's dream. Justice is rumbling, Betty, down the sidelines. Highlights galore. Tries to cut back. May have been a face man. He fumbles the football, but it goes out of bounds. Oh, my goodness.
All right. 17-13, North Carolina back after this message from Advance Auto Parts.
At Advance, we believe in doing it yourself, so we made this commercial ourselves.
Hey, Charles, what are you doing?
Just getting ready to install a new battery out there for a customer.
I see. It's a pretty cool outfit. Wow, well, where'd you get those awesome goggles, battery guy?
Funny.
Battery guy walks the earth, searching for battery.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, Battery Guy. Bow before him.
Friends, the traveler is not a complicated creature. Give him a perk here and there, and odds are he'll come back. None for me, bud. I'm jittery enough.
an Accor hotel.
Ooh, jumbo workspace, data port, voicemail. Yeah, we're on a roll, brother. And life just keeps slapping on the butter.
An Accor hotel.
To be the official sponsor of the ACC TV network. Cooper Tires, don't give up a thing.
The new Silverado is here. Silverado, the truck from Chevy.
Plenty of drama here. North Carolina 17-13 over NC State. Wolfpack went for the point after. The high snap prevented it, and chaos ensued, but it was fun. Wright will not bring it out of the end zone. Phillip Rivers checks in with the booth. There's the scoring drive. 6 plays, 70 yards, 2.5 minutes to do it, and they did it all on the ground, including Phillip Rivers, who went over the top for a 1-yard run. Mike Hogewood has more from the sidelines. Certainly exciting down there.
I'll tell you what, Steve, and you know what, that penalty, what Phillip Rivers was trying to convince Chuck Amato to do was go for 2 because they were moved a little bit closer to the goal line, and he thought they could get the 2-point conversion. Ironically, with the block, they're probably going to have to go for 2 if they score again. But a lot of discussion and confusion down on the NC State sideline before that extra point attempt.
All part of the story that goes into a great rivalry. In the 92nd renewal, Tar Heels come out with a 4-point lead. Lazard, Blizzard in backfield. Here comes Durant. He's being pursued. Shakes off 1 tackler. 3 more in pursuit. Drops the football.
He tried to throw that. That's going to be a judgment call, but he clearly, in my mind, tried to throw it.
State says they've got it. Question is, was his arm going forward and was he throwing? It's an NC State football. What a break for the Wolfpack.
It only counts, if you get credit for it.
Durant stayed out in the open a little too long. Dodged 1 tackler, 3 more were waiting.
He did a terrific job to get away. And again, we'll see by replay. The play action fake, okay, the dogs are out now. See, NC State, they starting to feel themselves again. The confidence is back. Durant gets away from it. And there, I think, is Martin. Got to be Martin. Okay, better view of that. Much better view. Fumble.
Now, Jason Brown thinks he might have it, but no. The Wolfpack get it. And they've got excellent field position. First turnover of the game for an North Carolina team that has been plagued by turnovers. They had 9 against Miami of Ohio to open the season in a loss.
We'll take one more look. And again, he comes around. He's thinking about it.
Yeah, he wasn't going forward.
Well, he did follow through with it, but he lost it before he could throw it.
Right.
I knew I saw that action.
First and goal, and look at this formation. Here it comes, set up from McClendon, headed for the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, NC State. T.A. McClendon's second touchdown of the day put the Wolfpack out in front by 2.
Did a turnover, put 7 on the board. They went back to those, quote, jump formations that they started the ball game off. Now the attitude's back. See, that's the swagger of Chuck Amato's group. I call it junk, but it's good junk because it works if you block people. And those wide receivers did a great job on that, in particular, on that number 82.
Kachi. That's right. Here's the point after kick by Herbert. And it is good. And the Wolfpack move out on front by a field goal, up 20-17. We'll return after these messages from your local ACC station. NC State back out in front, and it took them only 24 seconds to do it. On the rush by T.A. McClendon. Ball's down in the end zone. And if you just joined in, here's what just happened over the last 24 seconds. Rivers goes in for the score. That puts State down by 4. They go for the point after. It's blocked by North Carolina. Look at the scrum that ensues. Doug Justice nearly goes all the way. Finally runs out of steam at the Wolfpack 20-yard line. Then coming back, NC State after a fumble by Darion Durant. T.A. McClendon scores for the second time today on a wall set up to the right side of the Wolfpack, leading here 20-17. Let's see what's going on over the sideline, who they've got there. Go back to that in a moment. Here's Durant back again. And here's Jacques Lewis. And Lewis, pretty effective in the first half until he soured with an injury there late. Gets it out to the 27-yard line. It's a gain of 7. Let's see who's this. This is McClendon.
Yeah, looks like McClendon. Once again, maybe that calf, as Mike Hogewood told us before the first half, bruised calf could be extremely sore. Carolina now on offense, you got to be able to take that shot and now respond. Don't get on your heels, stay on your toes, and move forward.
Second down 4. North Carolina now finds themselves back in this game. Here comes Lewis trying to get outside. Gets away from Cross, but runs head-on to Terrence Holt. And with more on T.A. McClendon, here's Mike Hogewood.
Well, you know what a hard day this is, how hard T.A.'s been hit. He's got the injured wrist. He's got the bruised calf. He just lost his lunch here on the sidelines, but I'm willing to bet he's back in next series.
All right. Okay. 3rd down and 2.
What did he have, Mike? Well, Mike's a sideline investigative reporter.
Oh,
we want details.
Believe me, I got enough. I'm with him on that one. 3rd down and 2. Tar Heels down by 3. Oh, a pass to Aiken. Hudson with the defense. A seeing eye pass by Darion Durant right in the pocket of Sam Aiken. That's his 4th catch of the day.
Don't back off. If you're Gary Tranquil, the offensive coordinator for Carolina, man, you have to keep doing what got you there in this ball game in particular, and this doesn't seem like they're going to retreat at all.
Split twins to the right, but it's Parker to the left. Parker tries to turn the corner. Hoyt drives him out of bounds. Also there, Terrence Holt.
There is some form of trash talking or pushing or shoving on every play now. That's when you know it's heated.
Well, last year at this time, these two teams met in Raleigh, and the Tar Heels came into the game 1-3, but they had just beaten Florida State, and they used this win over NC State 17-9 to carry them to a bowl bid. Oh, there's a hit. Flags fly. State says they're drawn. As that was Jarek Hall who got across the line of scrimmage and put a hit on the center. Let's see what Jim Knight
Dead ball. Offside with contact. Defense 5 yards.
So that changes 2nd and 7 now, down to 2nd and 2. Let's look at some scores around the country. Florida State playing a great ball game against Miami.
No, they must be running the football.
Yep. They're keeping #1 Miami at bay, and seesaw game at Charlottesville, where we'll be next week. Virginia up 16-10 on Clemson.
Cavaliers, boy, that is incredible.
A very young, talented team. Al Gross said this would be a transition year. Fumble on the snap. I think Durant got back down on it. But it's a loss of a down. That changes 2nd and 2 to 3rd and 2. No gain on the play.
Greg Jones already has 23 carries for 153 yards in the Seminoles versus the Canes. Wow. I mean, so that tells you, because that air it out, throw it every play deal for Florida State is not working.
No. North Carolina facing 3rd down and 2. They're 3 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. They can't get the right personnel grouping in there. Darion Durant wants a timeout to talk it over. And so he'll get one at 3. Stop for ACC info, including live stat updates from all conference games. Busy on that thing today. Football press conference audio and links to all 9 schools. The ACC.com is your front row seat for ACC sports on the web. Steve Martin, Doc Walker, Mike Hogewood here at Keenan Stadium in Chapel Hill. One of the most... Precipitation? I don't know.
Precipitation.
You think so?
A few little drizzles.
Kind of cloudy out there. Yesterday we had 5 inches of rain here, and this field has drained beautifully. It's a lovely day. We get some clouds in the sky. There was a threat of some occasional showers. But the perfect day for football. Temperature in the high 70s. And it's been a game that has not fallen short of expectations so far this afternoon.
Well, it's a perfect day for football as a spectator. If you're on that field, you wanted about 50.
Yeah. There's Darion Durant, 15 completions, and he's gone to 9 different receivers, including his last catch by fullback James Faison for a touchdown. Durant has hit 5 in a row.
Both teams are not afraid to utilize trick plays.
3rd and 2. Tar Heels trailing by 3 here in the 3rd. Durant to throw. Gets inside one man, gets up, and he's going to be shy of the first down. Hoyt comes in with Alan Holloway and also Jarek Hall, and the Wolfpack defense has held.
Boy, Wimstat and company, this was huge. Just to take away that momentum. Pat Thomas, as you mentioned, bringing it. Alan Holloway bringing it. And then, of course, Durant trying to make a play.
Here comes a punt by Lafferty. Ooh, almost got blocked. Fair catch called for. Taken by Jericho Cotchery at the 23-yard line. It's a 34-yard punt by Lafferty, no return. And the Wolfpack now, they've taken the momentum away offensively, and they've just done it defensively now. So this now shapes up as a big drive for the Wolfpack.
Well, an undefeated team, as I mentioned earlier, come off the bye, you got to have that swagger. You have to maintain it. Carolina hit you in the mouth. Carolina didn't follow the script. Now you have to force your will upon them.
Second-ranked defense in the ACC, first against the pass, made its mark that drive. Here comes Rivers, and a handoff goes to Brown. Big block by Cotchery on the corner, and Brown turns it upfield and gets a first down. Josh Brown out to the 38-yard line, and it's a gain of 15. Josh on the season.
Pardon me, Steve. I can't say enough about a team that is trailing and goes back to blood and guts football. I mean, this is basic. We're going to knock you off the ball, and our guy is going to pick up some yards and move some sticks. So they started this when they were trailing, and they have now since taken over the lead.
I don't think they've thrown a pass the second half.
I think you're absolutely correct.
Cotchery, handoff, Brown, big hole. And Brown surges toward midfield. He's going to be shy of the first down by about a yard. Gain of 9 on the play by Josh Brown.
And when you do it this way, Steve, you demoralize your opponent.
Yep.
If you sit out and trick the formations and out and cue them, they can always figure, well, we'll figure this thing out. But now there's no excuses. It's the guys in the white shirts and knocking the guys in the blue shirts backwards.
Experience starting to take its toll, or lack thereof, for the Tar Heels, who lost 8 of their starters from a year ago from a very good defense and only returned 3.
Well, the Heels need a hero now.
Yep. Here comes Brown. Brown has been the flavor of the day here to give T.A. McClendon a rest. He moves the chains one more time into Tar Heel territory at the 47. Will Chapman has to come up and make the stop after a 4-yard gain. So it's another first down for the Wolfpack.
Well, Coach Huxtable and crew for Carolina, they're just not going to sit in the box and get knocked out. Now watch them start to stunt, do some things to be more aggressive defensively.
Now the Wolfpack starting to take its toll on the ground. Nearly 200 yards, a lot of them in T.A. McClendon's column. But Brown's making a mark for himself here in the 3rd quarter. Down to the 42-yard line. It's another gain of about 5 yards. Speaking of the big number 44, with more on McClendon, here's Mike Hogewood.
Yeah, I told you T.A. got sick a few minutes ago, and I asked the sports information director, Annabelle Vaughn, are you sure he's okay? And she said, yeah, you know, he got sick a couple of times in the game against Texas Tech and had one of his best days ever. We're not worried about him, and they're just letting him catch his breath and settle his stomach, but he's okay. He'll be back in.
You think he gets sick of scoring. 5 touchdowns. He gets sick that day. I guess he did.
I'd have to reevaluate his pregame meal.
2nd down and 6. Here comes Brown. Well, Brown's feeling it now. Another first down to the 35. NC State isn't even looking to throw the football. A 7-yard gain.
This is a statement that Chuck Amato has made. I think he challenged his guys to see who's the toughest team.
Yeah.
I mean, let's throw the records out. And right now, the Heels have decided that they're going to have to make some changes. Carolina's going to, they just can't sit in the box and take this. They better start doing something more aggressively defensively.
1st and 10. Ball at the North Carolina 35. Hand off, Josh Brown. You do keep running it until they stop it, and they have not stopped.
So now you need gap control defensively. It sounds boring, but it's realistic. They got to keep those pads square. Don't give up gaps. Take the cutback away. And they did it in the first half.
And McClendon returns to the offensive huddle. Josh Brown did quite a job to keep this drive going, and now McClendon will take over from here. Wolfpack have yet to attempt to pass in the second half, running down time in the final 18 seconds of the 3rd quarter.
Dante Coates, he was a guy that made things happen. I don't believe he's in the ball game.
No, you're right.
I think he might be injured.
Chase Page in his spot. Here's Rivers to throw. First time, second half. Hit from behind. It's up for grabs. Did he come down with it? Kotchery got it. Oh, my.
Still got it.
Down to the 22-yard line. A gain of 8. Another first down for the Wolfpack.
Rolling aces. It's all about momentum, man.
Watch this. Rivers completion. His first pass attempt of the second half. It wasn't a thing of beauty, but it seemed to work.
Took a licking. Made it happen.
That's right. Kotchery comes down on the ground, but the ball didn't. It's a reception, and the Wolfpack now driving with a 3-point lead through 3 here in Chapel Hill.
Football is brought to you in part by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Welcome back to Chapel Hill. Citgo presents ACC football from Jefferson Pilot Sports. Your score by quarters. NC State comes up with 13 third-quarter points, and they lead the Tar Heels here 20-17. 2 bruising drives, and they're ready to try to punch another one in. We're down 17-7 at the half. Here comes a handoff, McClendon, and he is hit. The pile carries around, but it looks like Malcolm Stewart was in on that tackle. Let's take a look at our third quarter stats. Look at this. 1 pass thrown in the quarter through the third, and look what NC State's piled up on the ground.
Well, that's vicious. Plain and simple. If you can control every game in this nature, then you're going to end up playing in the BCS Bowl. I can guarantee you that, because there's no remedy to this. If you don't have the personnel to go helmet to helmet, it's very tough to stop.
Wolfpack came into this game 6-0. Here comes Rivers to throw across the middle. Peterson complete. Just shy of the first down. Dexter Reed makes the play. It's a 10-yard gain, but they need 11.
For all you young high school quarterbacks, if you want to play at this level, take a look at it. Here's the view. That's nice. That's nice.
Ryan Peterson, a dangerous receiver. 3rd down and 1. That's the 3rd pass reception for Peterson this afternoon. Wolfpack up by 3 and looking to keep their drive alive in the red zone.
Shane Riggs.
Here's the pass going for the end zone for Peterson. Touchdown, North Carolina State.
Baby, they're cooking with gas now. Cooking.
Rivers had only thrown 1 pass to that point. Backed up on play action and a fade route to the corner.
Talked about rhythm earlier. NC State offense in rhythm.
Peterson makes the touchdown grab. That's his 6th reception of the season for a score, his 4th of the day. And 2nd of the drive. The kick is up and it is good by Herbert. And the Wolfpack solidify their lead. 20 unanswered points on the touchdown pass to Brian Peterson from Phillip Rivers puts NC State up on North Carolina 27-17. Hill, Wolfpack back in control. 20 unanswered points to lead 27-17. They did it on a drive that went 76 yards in 10 plays. Peterson completed the final 13 yards for the score, his 5th of the season. Picking it up, this is Willie Wright. Wright on his horse and brought down by number 41, and that is J.J. Washington. Coming up next week on most of these same Jefferson Pilot sports stations, the Tar Heels are up to Virginia to take on the Virginia Cavaliers at Scott Stadium. We'll be on the air live from Charlottesville at 12 noon as Citgo presents ACC football from Jefferson Pilot Sports. And the Cavaliers are locked up in a good one with Clemson this afternoon, and they are leading now 22-10. The Virginia Cavaliers probably arriving, Doc, a year ahead of time.
No doubt about it. And it's because of the development and maturity of their young defense.
Ball play, 1st and 10. Willie Parker. And Parker surges ahead, gets about 5 yards forward progress before he's thrown back. They'll mark the ball out to the 44-yard line. So what do you do now if you're North Carolina? You had this ball game going in your fashion, and John Bunning's words now look prophetic at halftime.
Well, you got to get it back. And the first thing you do is give your defense some time to recoup. They need a long drive. Put 7 on the board, you're right back in it.
Yep, plenty of time. 12:47 left to go. Wolfpack coming in here 6-0. Here comes the pass, Durant. It is thrown low. Better shot at it was Marcus Hudson instead of Chesley Borders. Well, North Carolina, they finished strong. They've scored 40 points of their 40% of their 123 points in the 4th quarter. So for John Bunning, this team is just following script.
And you lay on your conditioning. You convince yourself that you're in better condition than your opponent.
3rd and a long 4. Big 3rd down conversion for the Tar Heels, who've not made any in this 2nd half. Durant back to throw. Steps up, fires, almost intercepted by D'Antonio Burnett, but he ran into the umpire. George Burton might have been the 12th man on the field for the Tar Heels.
Well, that's tough luck there.
That is.
For Carolina Blue, because he had good protection. And at this point, I think he's got to take it over with his legs. And Burnett, he is hot.
He's hot.
Man, that's an interception. That's a stat.
Here comes Lafferty for the punt.
It's a movement.
And a flag is thrown. Typically, if it's against NC State, it'll be a 1st down for North Carolina.
Well, State had the movement. Let's see if they a little bit of encroachment. Let's see. Talk about maybe a turn of
dead ball. False start on the offense.
So procedure call. Back him up another 5 yards. Ooh, John is hot. False start for the Tar Heels and turns 4th and 5 into 4th and 10.
Well, John started off hot. And we saw his pregame talk.
Yeah.
He fired us up.
Yes, he
in
did.
our open. I mean, so he's not going to go away. But he realizes the importance of this. Boy, that would have been huge for Carolina.
Here's Lafferty. Big rush goes on. Fair catch called for by Cotchery. 34-yard kick. And no return. Bunting still warm on that one. 12:25 left to play here in the 4th quarter. And the Wolfpack will have the ball back. As they place the football down. So let's tell you what happened so far in this ball game. T.A. McClendon started the scoring off 7-0, going 5 yards in the 1st quarter. Then North Carolina came back. Blizzard gets that big touchdown. That put them ahead. Here's the pass ad lib here. And it goes to James Faison late in the second quarter. 1st and 10 now for the Wolfpack. And McClendon finds it going rough. He'll run into Will Chapman first on the left side of that line.
Yes. Excuse me, Steve, one of those guys we talked about that needs to step up and be a hero. Will Chapman had a good play in the last series for Carolina.
Chapman used to play defensive tackle. They moved him out to the end spot. It's a loss of 1 on the play. Chapman's a junior out of Lexington, Kentucky.
Now you look at Kendall Hyde, true freshman. Of course, Page, who was a former offensive guard. So it's been quite a task for John and Dave Huxtable to try to put this defensive unit back together.
8 guys who have not started before. Dante Coates is back in. Here's McClendon. Big hole off the left side, but shut down quickly there by Defonte Coleman at the 29-yard line. Mike Hogewood has more on NC State's quarterback, Phil Rivers.
Steve, I'm really impressed with the leadership he's shown here in the second half. His team down and behind. He's not thrown all that much, but he has had a real presence on the sidelines. And they told us yesterday in the huddle, a command of this team. He's not let his guys get uptight, tense, panic at all. He's kept cool, and he's led this team now to a 10-point lead.
Marty Galbraith, the offensive coordinator, told Mike and I yesterday, without Rivers in the huddle, it's a whole different picture as far as control is concerned. Rivers puts it right on the mark. Sterling Hicks for the first down at the 41-yard line. That's the 3rd grab for Sterling Hicks today, and he looks like he's hurt. Hard hits on both sides of the field, and Hicks will limp to the sideline.
Well, the offensive line, once again, is what we're talking about. Now just look at this in terms of total protection. See, he's got that whole arc here. Now, of course, he can look in the lanes either way, but the key to it is that the offensive line allows him those lanes.
Hicks with the catch. 1st and 10. McClendon on the handoff. Going left. Couple of broken tackles. Ball on the ground. But it looks like the Wolfpack was able to recover. Getting on the football is Joe Gray. Gray, the backup tight end, a senior from Columbia, South Carolina, comes away with it.
Every time you need someone to save the day,
there it is.
Make a play. There's another one of another tight end.
Lonely Sentinels.
At this point, McClendon running there. He's got a cast on his arm, bruised calf. What courage! But at some point in time, to secure this ball game, I think we're going to see a lot more of Josh Brown.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we're going to see him right now. Good call, Doc. 2nd down and about 6. Hand off to Brown. Big opening there. And a stiff arm gets him into Tar Heel territory at the 47-yard line. The Wolfpack come in here with the most prolific passing attack in the ACC, yet it's their control of the football on the ground here in the second half that has them up by 10.
Well, you see Johnson, you see Coleman, the guys come up, have force on it, but because they can throw it so well, the safeties have to stay deep. So it takes Johnson forever to get there. You end up with a 5-7-yard gain without the force.
Wolfpack eating the clock up now on the ground. There's Josh Brown's report card today. A wing right, a double wing right, and a split end to the left. It's all piled up there for Brown to turn the corner. And Brown does just that. Driven out of bounds by Clarence Gaddy and Defonte Coleman, but he's close to another 1st down at the Tar Heel 37.
Boy, that's doing it on the side. That's working well in short space. Great block on the outside again, Joe Gray. Now watch it. Boy, that's nice.
And you saw North Carolina assistant coach hollering at his players, hey, no arm tackle. And Defonte Coleman attempted just that.
Well, it shows that partying pays off. You out there getting your groove on, keeping your feet light. Picked up a few extra yards.
2nd down and 1. Patry on the wing. Here comes Brown. Straight ahead. It's going to be close. I think he's going to be short. Dexter Reed up for the stop with Clarence Gaddy and Dave Justice.
Oh, Dexter's a heck of a safety, man. Dexter Reed, he will drop the hammer.
He's one of the 3 returning starters. He leads the ACC in tackles. No gain on the play. 3rd down and 1.
Again, what really hurt Carolina, Dante Coates. who I don't believe has been in. I mean, he was a guy who captured the line of scrimmage, and he was dominant in those few series he was in. He's on the sidelines now. Carolina has not been the same.
Rivers pushes the pile ahead, and he is close to the first down. Mark forward progress. Of course, when you're 6'5", you just lean over center, and you get the chain gang eclipsed. Rivers has already run for a touchdown today. He's passed for one, and T.A. McClendon has rushed for 2 more. Wolfpack it up 7-0. Then it was 7-3. Darion Durant threw a pass to Blizzard to make it a 10-7 North Carolina lead, and they took a 17-7 lead as Faison hauled in a pass from Durant near the end of the first half. And it's been all NC State ever since. Rivers, McClendon, and Peterson have scored. Let's see what the measurement is. See how close. I think he got it. Yep. Easy to say when you see the ball going down there.
Great call, Steve.
Thank you. With more on T.A. McClendon, here is Mike Hogewood.
He had surgery less than 2 weeks ago, and he has that screw in the wrist. When he fumbled, it was the first time today he really got hit smack on the middle of that wrist. Really sent a shot up through him, and he's recovering from it on the sideline. He could go back in, but that one really hurt him.
Sterling Hicks is back in the lineup after leaving momentarily. He's out there at the split end to the left side. Devontae Edwards across the formation. Here's Josh Brown, and Brown cuts up some real estate now. He gets about 7 yards on that play to the 31-yard line.
See, to me, you can never be a dominant team unless you have the ability to control the clock when need be. You can throw it, but you got to be able to hog it. And look at this.
Oh, speaking of hogging it, in the second half on the ground, 147 yards for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. That really is showing your stamina and, again, your will to win. Those kids were challenged. Both sides were challenged, but the results have favored the Wolfpack in the second half.
They credit Brown with only a 5-yard gain. This is the shortest 5 on record at the 31. And off Brown. Ooh, hit right at the line.
That's what Carolina needs.
I think that was Chase Page. No, it's Chapman. Will Chapman. He's coming off the field now in a situation here in the fourth quarter. It's 3rd down and short, but he made a nice stop on Josh Brown.
Yeah, Will's been a high-impact player for him today. Again, we mentioned Coates, who's no longer in the ball game. You need more guys like that in order to win.
Big 3rd down for the Carolina defense. Phillip Rivers taking charge. Clock is down to 1. Gets rid of it. Pass is complete. This is Sterling Hicks. Locked down by Kevin Knight at the 13-yard line. 4th catch by Hicks. It's a 17-yard gain, and the Wolfpack are in business.
Man, it just means so much. Your quarterback 6'5", 236, who's athletic, who can get out of the way of his own shadow. I mean, he creates some time. Carolina had good pressure. He found some time, little jump pass. Again, short throw, big run.
Phillip Rivers 4 of 4 in the second half, 11 of 20 in the first. And Red Roof Inns presents this look at red zone proficiency for today. They've been in the red zone 4 times, and they've come away with 4 touchdowns. Here comes Brown trying to dance around in the backfield. He escaped Isaac Mooring, but instead ran into a host of other people, including Tommy Davis.
Even when they have them, they don't have them. You know, they've got to continue to go at this, man. You understand, Coach is back in the game, 94.
Yep, he's back in. Came in one series earlier, but then skipped the last one. 2nd down and 8. Clock moving now, 5.5 left. The Wolfpack trying to add one more touchdown onto a 20-point run. Brown.
Ooh. Yeah, so he's in, and what he does is he has great leverage, and he reestablishes the line of scrimmage. Both times he's been in the ball game that I've seen of late, he's forced to back to arc his position.
Yep.
He takes away turf, and I don't know why he's not in every play unless he's injured.
I think he was hurt. He tried it out. Florida State leading Miami 27-14 in the 4th. Top-ranked Miami primed to fall today. There's 12 minutes left in that game, and it's a final. Virginia has beaten Clemson 22-17, and that is now, what, 5 straight wins for the Cavaliers. And they're waiting for these Tar Heels next week in Charlottesville, and we'll be there with them.
For the Seminoles, Jonesy's up to 172 yards for Florida State.
4:39 left to play in this game. Time for a timeout. Wolfpack by 10.
Ball is brought to you in part by GMC. From professional grade people come professional grade trucks.
Wow, there's a conflicted rivalry right there. You can go half and half, huh?
That's confusing.
Oh, the parents.
Oh,
yeah, Mom is a Wolfpack fan and Dad is a Tar Heel. There you go.
My goodness.
They live together every day. Rivers now 3rd and 9 at the 12. Josh Brown dances outside, has the first down, may have a touchdown. Yes, touchdown NC State.
Checkmate, Wolfpack.
A 12-yard strike by Josh Brown, the sophomore from Shelby, North Carolina. His first rushing touchdown of the season.
No, he just ran right out of the grasp of Chase Page. I mean, Carolina was in position. This kid shifted gears, and it was over.
33-17 Wolfpack. Herbert to add one more to the pile. 34-17. Josh Brown, who once in a high school game rushed for 412 yards, only needed 12 yards, but there was a convincing 12 yards. It puts the Wolfpack up by 17. Left to go, and North Carolina State down at one point, 17-7, have roared back with 27 unanswered points. Touchdowns on their last 4 possessions. They ate up almost 8 minutes on that drive, 14 plays, and Josh Brown took it in for his first touchdown of the season. Taking it out of the end zone, this is Wright. Wright, upended. Upended on the play. And that is Troy Graham, the quarterback from Miami, Florida. Decided to make that tackle. The Wolfpack now on defense, but they're just 4.5 minutes away from their second-best start ever in school history. In 1967, they went 8-0 to start the season. And who was a senior on that team? Chuck Amato.
Talk about gratification. Wow.
And next week they're at they have Duke.
It won't get any easier.
No.
Promising that.
Here's Durant. Screen pass knocked up and almost intercepted. Several players had a crack at that. Wimsett was the man who got his hand on it. There's Chuck Amato. You always like to see the guys come back to your alma mater, and it's a trend in the ACC, really. You've got Dalgrove at Virginia.
Yeah.
And those guys, if they taste success, chances are they're not going to leave you for someone else, because this is heaven for them.
Ralph Friedgen.
Yep.
And, the Turtles, it is really a unique situation.
Durant pass complete. Pollock keeps his feet and gets the first down after the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 15. Jaworski, Pollock. John Bunning in the same situation in North Carolina. Let's see this again.
If they get better. I mean, their defense today had spurts where it played well enough to win right up until the end. The turnover cost them, but they've done a lot of good things.
Here's Durant again to throw. Pass complete to Aiken. Aiken in the open field, another first down in Wolfpack territory. His 5th grab of the day. Gets him down to the 42. It's about a 20-yard gain on the play.
I think Carolina also found out that it can bang.
Yep.
It can run the football. I mean, the only thing stopped them in this was Carolina. You don't give the football up, and you lost field position. And then defensively, they knew that it would be a work in process.
Durant back to throw. Has some time, has a sideline pattern for Borders, but he was covered nicely on the play there by Lamont Reed. Reed, who's quite a playmaker for NC State. This is an NC State team that has tied for the ACC lead with 8 interceptions.
Well, the great thing about in the conference has so many areas, I think, in terms of football that puts them in a class by itself as safeties. Yeah, I mean, they are some legitimate big-time players at safety in this conference. Yes.
Oh, we've seen two good ones today. Holt and Maddox. For NC State, here's Durant throwing it every down, and he slips. Falls, unforced error back to the 45-yard line, and it's going to be a loss on the play of almost 12 yards. Clock rolling along. Now it stops as they reset the ball. And the Tar Heels will call for a timeout. Well, you're 17 points down, 3:26 left to go. So we'll take a timeout with them. Wolfpack up by 17. We'll be back. Third down, Durant hit Blizzard for a gain up to the 41-yard line. Now they are 4th and 11. And maybe the last gas for the Tar Heels. We got a flag on the play. Pat Thomas throws Durant down, but let's see what the flag is going to be at the line of scrimmage. It was an 8-yard gain to the tight end Bobby Blizzard, and it's offsides against NC State. So the door is kept open here for the Tar Heels. They understand it, and they know they have to hurry up and get it done. 8:10 left in Miami.
Defense, 5 yards. Repeat for that.
And an upset in the making as 9th-ranked Florida State looking to take out the top seed, Miami, 27-21. Got 2:39 and counting left in this one. 4th down and 6 now for North Carolina. Durant to throw. Pass intercepted. That's Sean Price. Sean Price stepped out of bounds at his own 40-yard line, but he picks the ball off. The senior from Haddon Heights, New Jersey, snuffs out the light of the North Carolina Tar Heels.
And again, Durant had perfect pass pro. I mean, you got to make the throw. You can't, you know, of course, you get discouraged. We saw NC State discouraged in the first half. You got to keep your ball club in it. You got to keep the mental state rolling. Good route, great play. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from an outstanding athlete, but ill-advised throw.
Brings up Wolfpack ball with 2:27 left to go. Rivers back out there, and they'll do more of what got them to this point. Control the line of scrimmage and now control the clock. And they've done it here in the second half. Here's Josh Brown headed toward the corner, and Waddell will ride him down for very little gain at the 42-yard line.
Will Chapman got across the line of scrimmage on that play, and Carolina defended that well. I mean, those are the things I'm sure Coach Bunny's going to say, look, guys, so you can do it, but you have to do it every play.
North Carolina has one timeout remaining. And if the Wolfpack don't get much on this play, there's Chuck Amato. A hard day's work. He's got the headset off, and he's going to leave it up to his offense here to wild this one out.
Talk about running the football. Florida State has 296 yards on the ground against Miami.
Amazing that these teams are discovering their ground games today. North Carolina State did here in the second half.
Well, remember Coach Boughton told us at league meetings, because I've always felt with his size, his offensive line, and the plethora of backs, why not just chase people down the road?
Right.
And he said this is what people stacked up on us a year ago or so, and he said we're going to go back and do what we like to do, and we like to throw it. But I guess he, after that loss, Louisville, which again may have been rain-aided, if you will, but it still counts. They got down to business, and so far it's working.
Yeah, they left too much time on the clock for Louisville in that game. And look at how the rushing yards have made a difference in this game. And most of that mileage racked up in the second half when the Wolfpack ran their first 15 plays without a pass. Third down and about 8. Here's Brown.
That's good D.
Yep.
That's good D.
Kevin Knight with the tackle. Now let's see if the Tar Heels call a timeout here. They have one left.
And it shows you the character of these young men. We know both sides are very well coached. I mean, there are no flaws in the schemes on either side of the ball. But those kids now are playing for pride. And NC State came out in the second half trailing, and they decided to establish, you know, their pride.
John Bunning said, no timeout. Let's just run this thing out. Clock is winding its way down. 28 seconds left to go. Under a half minute. The Wolfpack are going to win their 7th straight game to start the season. Their best start in 1967 was 8 straight.
Chuck Amatos. Was that Gatorade all over him, or was that just sweat?
No, I think that was the work of the day.
Chuckster working, man.
He's working hard. That's 4 straight ACC road wins for the Wolfpack now as we get down to 13 seconds. Tar Heels didn't call timeout. They just let the clock run down. Changing the football over. North Carolina State taking on Duke next week. North Carolina goes to Virginia. Virginia already a winner today. There's Joe Pate talking things over with Coach Amato. And do one more snap of the football, and this rivalry will go in the direction of NC State for bragging rights for a year.
No rest for the weary. As NC State talked about Duke, then at Death Valley, Tech.
And you know, Duke is no easy pass now, the way that they've been playing this year.
Well, 11-23, they can sleep through that one. I mean, it's just Florida State.
You think?
Or that could be, you know, and that's what most schools are looking at in terms of BCS implications.
Yep.
You know, and that's how this program has elevated, and through the mind and work of Chuck Amato. Of course, the money that's poured into that program since then. They have put a lot of money into refurbishing the facilities.
Oh, yeah, and they get ready to move into the new football facilities in January. Punt coming up for NC State. That's why they wild the clock down here. And Waddell will get under this Austin Herbert punt. And this game will end with Waddell in various forms of retreat and tackle down to the 12-yard line. The Wolfpack do it. They score 27 unanswered points. Down 17-7. They decided to take this game back to the basics. Win tackle to tackle and come home with a victory. And that's what Chuck Amato did. He searches out John Bunting. 2 guys who really have worked hard to bring this rivalry to a new level, and Chuck Amato has taken that step here this afternoon with a 34-17 Wolfpack win.
The Citco ACC Game of the Week has been brought to you by your neighborhood Citco, proud to sponsor today's athletes. Citco, we know you. By Advance Auto Parts, where the best part is our people. By Cooper Tires. Cooper Tires, don't give up a thing. By Red Roof Inn. Red says live large, pay little. Red knows the road. Red Roof Inn. And by BB&T, Branch Banking and Trust Company.
Well, NC State, 165 rushing yards in the second half, part of their 27-point comeback. 37-17 the win. We'll return after these messages from your local ACC station.
When Jim Russ opened Jim Russ Chevrolet in 1974, he knew that his business was about
5 yards on the ground, while their defense held North Carolina to just 117 yards in the second half and just 9 yards on the ground. A dominating picture for the Wolfpack, who win their 7th straight, 34-17. T.A. McClendon with a couple of touchdowns to boot. Our producer Scott Snyder, our director Dave Burchett, for Mike Hogewood and Doc Walker. I'm Steve Martin, thanking you for watching ACC football from Chapel Hill this afternoon. Reminding you, you've been watching Jefferson Pilot Sports exclusive coverage of Atlantic Coast Conference football. Next weekend from Virginia, North Carolina and the Cavaliers.
Five Super Doppler 3.
The Chuck Amato Show is sponsored in part by your hometown Carolina Dodge dealer. Get somewhere. Grab life by the horns. Dodge. Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? BB&T. You can tell we want your business. And by Amedio's Italian Restaurant. Backing the pack since 1963. Here's your host, Don Shea.
And hello again, everybody. Welcome into another half hour of the Chuck Amato Show. NC State is now 7-0 for the first time in 35 years. The third time around is indeed a charm for Greg Williams. Jarek Hall steps into the sprint spotlight our Caterpillar Scholar Athlete of the Week. And it's the Pack and the Blue Devils at high noon this Saturday. That and a bunch more starting in 2 minutes.
Americans bust their humps 24/7. Time to trash that schedule and get out there with 0% financing for 60 months or up to $3,000 cash allowance on the new 2002 Dodge that grabs you. Plus, get our 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, and Honda don't match it. Grab life by the horns and grab something that works for you. 0% financing or cash allowance and our 770 protection.
Dehydration. It can't be predicted. It can be prevented. Nothing has been tested and proven to hydrate athletes better or faster. Gatorade. Is it in you?
These little guys come in here nervous, sometimes hurt. They can't tell you what's wrong. It's my job to earn their trust and let them know that it's going to be okay. When I walk into a bank, I'm looking for the same thing. I want them to earn my trust.
Celebrate Wolfpack heritage at Amedio's Italian Family Restaurant. Amedio Dick DeAngelis, a member of NC State's All-Century team, invites all fans to savor their homemade Italian cuisine.
Mama D!
Meet Coach Chuck Amato and Mama D. Enjoy piping hot specialty pizzas, or dig into Amedio's famous lasagna or pasta.
How's your food? Terrific. I really hope you enjoy it.
Treat your family to Amedio's.
NC State trails 17-7 after UNC took the opening drive in the third period, went in for a touchdown. But that was all she wrote because the Wolfpack, under a punishing running game, answered with 27 points and double the score on their rival, 34-17. NC State 7-0 and 2-0 in conference play. Throw off that score in the third period. Pretty doggone close to playing perfect football, Coach.
Yeah, it was the players came out. You know, they were possessed about going out there and putting it all together. We didn't make any plays in the first half. They made plays and we didn't. We didn't tackle as well as we should have. We dropped interceptions. We dropped touchdown passes. But they came out and we said, well, the heck, throwing the ball. Let's line up and get behind that big offensive line with those tight ends and let's let the big guy run with the football. And to think that we did it with a center that's been out for 4 weeks, a running back who had his wrist operated on a little less than 2 weeks ago, a tight end who hurt his ankle on Monday, and a middle linebacker who had his operated on about 2.5 weeks ago. Great group of young men. We love them to death. I'll tell you what, they fought their hearts out for the red and white of NC State. I'll tell you, I'm proud of them.
The two tailbacks rushed for a combined 252 total yards, Coach. And in the second half, you referred to the running game, 34 plays called, 29 running the football. So, as you said just a moment ago, you were going to take it to them.
Yeah, I felt like Virginia Tech there a little bit. You know, they played a game the other night on Thursday night on ESPN, and I think there was like 60 plays in the game, and they ran it 55 times against Boston College. But the running game was going, and you know, when you score a touchdown via the run, it still counts 6 points.
Down 17-13, key play, maybe the key play in the game. We get the sack for 16 yards, recover the fumble. 1 play later, TA takes it in. There's
no question that was very, very big. You know, they had blocked the extra point, and Sean Locklear ran it down, which was a great effort, a difference of 3 points. You know, and then to do what we did on I believe it was the first down or second down that we sacked him in the fumble recovered, big fumble, and then gave the ball to the big guy, and he liked that right corner over there.
It's been 35 years since the Packers started 7-0. Coach, can you compare your team of 67 to this team? Is there some similarities at all?
Yeah. Me. Here we go, opening drive. It's the sixth time in seven games that we've scored either a field goal or a touchdown in the first drive of a game. Pass to Kotri. Now Phillip throws one out here to Devontae Edwards and gets himself another first down. Again, Phillip in the shotgun. He hits Devontae out in the flat, and Devontae turns it upfield again for another first down. And things are going along, pretty good on his first drive here. Now they get good pressure here, and Phillips works the pocket real well, and he catches TA out in the flat, and TA makes a real good catch with one hand, but he actually used both of them that time. Brought it down for another first down, and now here's TA rambling in. He likes that right corner, and he goes in for a score to make it 7-0. Now we come out. We had a penalty here, and that put us in bad field position, but TA gets off a real good run and gets it out there for a first down on a 21-yard run. Here's good defensive play. You see Pat Thomas and George Anderson involved in that tackle, and now we get good pressure, and here's a sack by Wimsatt. Drew was credited from the press box with 3 sacks in this particular game. We did a pretty good job of containing him. Greg Golan could have had an interception there. We didn't make plays in the first half, but here's a big tackle for a loss by Sean Price. A pass here in the flat, a good play here by Greg Golden, and they settle for a field goal here, and score 7-3 at this point. They come right back, and here Durant sacked by Drew Wimsatt. Good play. Drew played real good. Our ends played real good this particular game, and now they throw one down in the corner to the big tight end for a touchdown. They go up 10-7 at this point. Our kids don't quit, though. We come right back. Here's a good defensive play. There's a lot of white shirts there. There's Thomas and Martin, a lot of players. They stall. We get Rivers hits Sterling Hicks here, good for a long first down and 30 yards, and we come right back and Rivers hits his favorite target, it seems, at some point, Alabama to Alabama there, Jericho Kotri for 11 yards and another first down. Good play by Terrence Martin. Terrence is getting better and better up inside there. He's feeling more comfortable. He throws a quarterback for a loss on an option play. Now again, we've got good coverage. This is a coverage sack. We lose containment. There's Dan Burnett chasing him around, and there's Drew Wimsatt, which that's his 3rd sack for this half. And we missed a 51-yard field goal right before half. Go in the first time, losing 10-7 at halftime. Here we are in the 3rd quarter, and Carolina took the ball the length of the field, and this is a touchdown, 10 plays, 78 yards, puts them up 10 points, 17-7, and here we come right back, and TA gets 13 hard yards over the left side with a zone play, and now he gets the ball over here on the right side for about 38 yards. He cuts it back, and that's 64 yards on that play, on those 2 plays, and it's 22. He had 22 carries for 164 yards, and here's Phillip on a quarterback sneak for a touchdown, which makes the score 17-13. They blocked an extra point, and Locklear made a great play. Sean Price misses a tackle here on a sack, and here's Terrence Martin that sacks him and causes a fumble, and I believe it was Dan Burnett that came up with the fumble on that big play. This is the play of the game, really. It really set the tone for the rest of the second half, and TA just hits that corner again. That scores another touchdown. That's 4 games in a row he scored 2 or more touchdowns in. And now the score is 20-17. A little rollout here. They move the pocket. We get some pressure. We cause them to step up. And here we got a sack by Holloman and Hoyt on Durant. Good tackling. Now we bring little Josh Brown in. He's really not that little. He started another touchdown drive here, and Josh gets 14 of his 88 yards on this drive. He keeps this as a 2nd down play, and Josh cuts back and gets about 8 yards in the first down, and he carried the ball 6 straight times during this drive, this touchdown drive. And here's Phillip hitting Jericho Kotri. They tipped that ball up, and good concentration by Jericho to bring it in. Continuing to drive here in the 4th quarter, Here's Rivers to Peterson. This is now the 32nd straight game that he's caught at least one pass. And we get it down in there, and now they jump off sides, and we throw one down in the corner, and it's Peterson for a touchdown, and it makes it 27-17 on a 3rd and 1 play. Now here's Phillip, 11 yards to Sterling Hicks and a 1st down. Here's a time-consuming drive, 14 plays for about 8 minutes, and Josh Brown picks up 8. And good blocking. Our offensive line, our tight ends, I'll tell you what, really did a great job. Again, Josh Brown for 9 yards. In the second half, we had 34 total offensive plays and 29 of them were runs. And again, that's a tribute to those people up front. And here's Josh going in for a score, which makes it 34-17. Now they try a screen here. We tip it by Drew Wimsatt, almost get an interception. And further on down the drive, we get a good play here by here he is, old Sean Price intercepting the pass. If he doesn't sack the quarterback, he intercepts one from him. He steps out of bounds, and the final score of the game is the Wolfpack 34 and UNC 17.
Well, when the Pack rushes for over 200 yards, they are 46-3-1. And T.A. McLendon has rushed for over 100 yards in 3 straight games. Next up, Gary Hahn and the Dodge drive of the game.
Which is usually pretty good. Rivers out of the shotgun on 2nd down. He cocks the arm, fires left side, caught by Peterson inside the 15, and he's rolled down. 13-yard line. Rivers dropping. He's going to throw the fade. Right corner end zone. Caught by Peterson. Touchdown, Wolfpack.
That 10-play, 76-yard drive gave NC State a 10-point cushion. Next up, let's see that again. A play worth a second look.
This is the play that changed the momentum. We get pressure by Price, and you can't put Durant down, and a couple more go after him. Martin pulls the ball out of his hands, and I believe it was Dan Burnett came up with a fumble.
Turn me up, come feel the joy all around. Each generation has found they've got their own kind of sound. So let it out. You've got your own kind of groove. Maybe you can't see it's your move. Gotta take that leap, you can't lose. So shout it out. Let that joy of Pepsi. Oh, yeah. Pepsi. For those who think young.
Coach Sam Esposito taught me a long time ago that vision might be the most important skill great athletes possess. With the defensive backs, I make sure they're focused. Focused on the quarterback first, then the wide receiver. He has to train his eyes to see what the quarterback is doing. That's his first priority. But he must also stretch his vision to see the wide receiver. Good vision equals winning. It's just that simple.
Eye Care Associates, the authority on sports vision and your vision. Visit our website or call today. Eye Care Associates, visionary.
The Infinity QX4 with a DVD theater system. As if 240 horsepower wasn't entertaining enough.
Whenever you're traveling to the Triangle, stay with other Wolfpack fans at the Marriott. Your special Wolfpack rate is available at any of the 11 Triangle Marriott locations, including the Residence Inn at the airport, Cary and Crabtree, the Courtyard by Marriott at the airport, Cary and in North Raleigh, Fairfield Inns at the airport in Crabtree, Spring Hill Suites in Durham, and the Marriott Crabtree Valley and the Marriott RTP. Call 1-800-228-9290 and ask for your Go Wolfpack rate. Marriott is the official hotel headquarters for the Wolfpack.
The Chuck Amato Show is presented by Pepsi, The taste born in North Carolina is the official soft drink of the Wolfpack. Caterpillar, proudly recognizing NC State scholar athletes. Caterpillar and NC State, partnering to make progress possible. Eye Care Associates, the official team eye doctors for the Wolfpack. Infinity, accelerating the future. And by Marriott, in the Triangle, stay with the pack. Marriott properties are the choice hotels of the Wolfpack.
Welcome back to Emilio's and the Chuck Amato Show. After 2 previous stints, Greg Williams comes back home again. Greg Williams and Chuck Amato have a friendship that spans nearly 40 years. First as teammates and members of the famed White Shoe Gang, Greg is a defensive back and Chuck is a linebacker. This season, Greg returned to his alma mater for a 3rd time as an assistant coach. And since both have tutored on the D side of the ball, you would expect their coaching style to be similar.
We go back together so long that we can actually talk about coverages that we used back 20-some years ago. And back then we called them purple or red or Sally or whatever. And now we call them robber and cover 2 and cover 3. But sometimes the other guys in the meeting just sort of look at us because they think we're speaking a foreign language.
Coach Amato has always declared offense is for the fans and defense wins games. Greg seconds that notion.
I feel probably exactly the way he does because he and I have spent a lot of Saturday afternoons on defense as players, and then back in 1979 when I came back here to coach the secondary and work with him on the defense, and we were very successful that season. So I would say our philosophy parallel each other.
Williams has spent all of his 35 years as an assistant, although a couple of opportunities did come his way to become a head coach.
When Coach Batten left West Virginia, I probably had an opportunity there and didn't take advantage of it. And there was the University of Connecticut offered me a pretty good position up there, and I came in second on that job. So basically, I'm just glad to have been in coaching for 35 years.
Of course, speed is the buzzword today in college football, but there are other important aspects of defense.
A lot of what we do in the secondary here at NC State is built on speed. We play a lot of man coverages, and we want to press people and be physical and take away a lot of things. We're not a bend type of defense. We want to get out there. We want to get them stopped and get off the field, and because they got to stay with their man. And several times early in the year, we played a lot of run teams that would crack back block and so on and so forth, and my guys stayed with them, 9 out of 10 times, but the 10th time we were in there playing the run instead of playing the pass, and we let the receiver slip deep for about a 40 or 40-yard touchdown pass, I think it was, against Wake Forest. So that's just some of the things that the young kids have to learn.
Coach claims the most difficult pass to defend is the...
we spend a lot of time on the deep ball here at NC State, and it's just the natural reception skills that receivers have. Defenders always think of themselves as defending a pass, but when you go on a deep route or you're defending a deep route, your shoulders and their shoulders are headed for the goal line. Well, there is no defender then. There's 2 receivers, and you have to teach the defender then to become a receiver.
Greg describes his coaching style as firm but fair, and over his decades of coaching has enjoyed his association with players.
Chuck Noll told me this a long time ago. Whenever you're making a player better, he'll respect you. When you stop making a player better, he won't respect you. So that's what I try to do every day, and every time I sit in the film room with them is to help them to be better. And if they get that feeling, then they'll have respect for me.
And we thank Greg Williams for joining us here on the program. His favorite Chuck Amato quote is, and you really got to love it, "You loaf at 93." Jerick Hall, defensive tackle, joins Gary Hahn in the Sprint Spotlight.
In some ways, college football is like being in the military. On the field, you have to battle it out in the trenches hand to hand. Plus, military life changes attitudes and builds character. Wolfpack football has certainly had an impact on the character development and attitude adjustment of Jerick Hall.
When I came in my freshman year, with this mean, roughneck attitude, just snobby, like a little attitude, but I was young then. But now I think I've grown up a lot I'm looking forward to the future instead of just looking for right now.
There were times when Jerick Hall wondered if he had a future in football. When he came to NC State in 1999, the Wolfpack needed him to play right away, and he did. But Hall really wanted to sit out that season.
I came from Hargrave Military Academy. I played linebacker in high school, and I played defensive tackle at Hargrave. And I came here, you know, I wanted to redshirt, but I didn't redshirt. So I was kind of like thrown into the fire, you know, trying to learn everything all at once.
On-the-job training wasn't easy. Hall played in 9 games for the Wolfpack in 1999, but made only 6 tackles in 176 plays. Looking back, Hall admits that not having a redshirt year actually slowed his progress.
Yeah, it set me back a whole lot. Not even on the field, but you know, in the classroom too. You know, trying to balance everything out. But you know, everything happened for a reason, and so I think it must be working pretty well. You know, I'm doing pretty good here right now.
Hall started getting better in 2000 after he dropped 21 pounds. He also added strength. Hall is listed as the Wolfpack's strongest player over 275 pounds. But Jerick Hall has learned more than football at NC State. He's learned the value of education, and he'll take with him some solid values when he graduates.
I think I'll take a lot of pride, a lot of discipline, and a lot of responsibility that I would take. 'Cause you know, have to be here at a certain place, having deadlines and everything from classes, from turning in this paper or studying for a test. You know, I think my priorities, my time management is now in place. So when I get in the real world, then, you know, all that stuff will be like, you know, a piece of cake.
The Wolfpack football program has helped Jerick Hall grow up as a football player and as a person. Wouldn't it be nice if he could re-enlist for a couple of more years? For the Chakamoto Show, I'm Gary Hahn.
Just like the Wolfpack, House Autry has a winning team of great breaders and mixes. The lineup includes seafood, chicken, and spicy and hot breaders, hush puppy and biscuit mix, as well as a variety of cornmeals. Look for the House Autry lineup today in a brand new package with the same great taste on the baking aisle of your grocery store. And go online to register for 2 free tickets to every NC State home game. Remember, you're always a winner with the Wolfpack, and House Autry Mills, the choice of Southern cooks since 1812.
Let's just start with a deliberate lie. I am an albino chimpanzee. True? Good. Please read this.
With Sprint Solutions, you get long distance for 6 cents a minute, whether you call in-state or anywhere across the country, no matter what time you call. Is that true?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
It's true. Sprint Solutions. Everything you need for one great price.
Is this your kid?
Niece.
She's cute.
Call now. 1-877-1-SOLUTION.
At Capital City Chop House in Raleigh, the choice of the Wolfpack, you'll get the best of the best. Certified center-cut Angus beef of the highest quality, ocean fresh seafood, veal, lamb, and pork entrees, and enormous desserts. It's not a new concept. It's time-honored tradition that ensures you receive the best food, best service, and best prices. Come see for yourself. Raleigh's only Chicago-style steakhouse is open for lunch, dinner, and cocktails. The Capital City Chop House, 151 Airgate Drive off I-40 and Airport Boulevard in Raleigh. The choice of the Wolfpack.
Looking for the ideal home in the best location? Carpenter Village is that neighborhood. Located in Cary, just 3.5 miles south of Research Triangle Park. Enjoy the pool, the lake, walking trails, gazebos, and much more. This perfectly located traditional village will include a school and shops you can walk to. Custom homes designed to meet all lifestyles and prices. Come visit Carpenter Village, an award-winning neighborhood in the Triangle's most convenient location.
Carrier's Weathermaker Infinity is the world's most totally efficient gas furnace. With our exclusive Comfort Heat technology, it can save you up to 40% on your home heating costs.
Weathermaster Heating and Air is your source for Carrier heating systems. We have 25 years of experience in the business and can put you together with the perfect Carrier system for your needs. Call Weathermaster Heating and Air at 919-266-4415 today.
Carrier, 100 years of innovation.
The Chakamoto Show is brought to you by House Autry Mills, the choice of Southern cooks since 1812. Carpenter Village, the Triangle's premier traditional neighborhood. Sprint, no matter what business you're in the business of communication. Capital City Chop House, we put in the time it takes to be better than the best. And by Carrier Master Dealer, Weathermaster Heating and Air Conditioning. #1 since day one.
It's now time here on the show to recognize our Caterpillar Scholar Athlete of the Week, and that honor goes to Justin Raleigh of the baseball team. Justin maintains a 3.05 GPA in business management. Caterpillar proudly salutes Justin Raleigh as its Scholar Athlete of the Week. Another high noon game for the Wolfpack back in Carter Finley Stadium this Saturday against Duke. The Blue Devils are playing much better. They're 2-5, and they probably felt like they let 2 games get away, and I referred to Northwestern and Virginia. But, Coach, aside from the game last year, over the last years, there's been a lot of close ball games.
No doubt about it. Last year we got off to a big start, and they came back the second half, and I'm sure that Coach Franks is going to show them the second half of that game and how they did come back and scored a lot of points and held us down. But it will be, it's another ACC game, and you know, everybody forgot this game we just left. That was an ACC game. We had the rivalry all wrapped up in it, but Duke is our 3rd ACC game, and it's our 3rd game of in-state, and maybe we can win a mythical state championship.
All right, have a good week, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, that's our show for this week. Thanks for watching. For our entire television crew, I'm Don Shea. For head coach Chuck Amato, we'll do it all again next week, and we'll see you then.
For the finest Italian menswear in town, visit Shockey's Men's Designer Fashion. Suits and sport coats, slacks, shoes, and accessories, as well as finely tailored casual and sportswear. Shockey's, 1641 North Market Square in Raleigh. Distinctively you.